Hey, how you doing? Right, you know what today is, and I'm kind of running behind as well. So I think we're about an hour in, 50 minutes to an hour in. And now I'm back with my cup of tea. We are going to see how things are going. Let's find out where the meeting started. About there.
General meeting of Norfolk County
Right, let's
Council,
go.
and I'd particularly like to welcome those attending the AGM of the Council, but also the County Council for the first time. This meeting is being held in person at County Hall and is also being streamed live on the County Council's YouTube channel. The recording will also be available to view afterwards. A fire alarm test is not expected during the meeting, so if the alarms do sound, you must evacuate County Hall, and in the event of an emergency, please make your way to the nearest exit and meet at the muster point located on the main car park.
Oh.
When using your microphone, please make sure it's switched on and speak towards it. This will tell the cameras to focus on you and ensure that you can be heard on the live stream. And when you finish speaking, please push the button to turn off your microphone, as this will allow the system to pick up the next speaker. If you do need to leave the meeting early, could you please also remove your card and leave it on your desk so that the AV system can see that you're no longer in the meeting. And it'd be very helpful if councillors could indicate clearly if you wish to speak by raising your hand, and please switch off your microphone when you've finished. Could I ask everyone in the chamber to ensure that their laptops, mobile phones and tablets are switched to silent while the meeting is in progress, and please do not leave devices on vibrate. Under the Council's protocol on the use of media equipment at meetings held in public, this meeting may be filmed, recorded or photographed. Anyone wishing to do so must inform the Chairman and ensure that it is carried out in a way that is clearly visible to everyone present, and the wishes of any individual not to be recorded or filmed must be respected. I'd like to welcome our chaplain for today, the Reverend James Stewart, to begin today's proceedings by calling upon him for prayers. Reverend Stewart.
This annoys me. Keep religion out of politics.
So let us pray.
For Christ's sake.
God our Father, you created this unique and wonderful county of Norfolk, which we call home. From east to west and north to south,
Right,
the city of Norwich, our market towns, rural and coastal villages, and all that is in between. We give you thanks for all you have given us, and for all those who have served as councillors for the 84 divisions and those newly elected and re-elected who begin that same work of service to their communities. As we gather for this annual general meeting, we look back, giving thanks for past achievements, and forward for the things that are to come. Help us to bear the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control,
Everything that
for the good of all within our communities, putting the people of Norfolk at the very heart of all that is said and done. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon this county of Norfolk, the officers of the County Council, its councillors, and all the people they serve, now and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you. Before we start the meeting, can I remind members of the public in the gallery that this is a meeting held in public, but it is not a public meeting where the attending audience participates. You've come along to listen to the discussion carried out by the democratically elected councillors. And I should also say that if there's any disruption to this meeting, those causing disruption will be asked to leave or be accompanied from the building. Alex, could I confirm that we're ready to go live? We're now live. So, for those who've just joined us via live stream, I'm Tom Fitzpatrick, the outgoing chairman of Norfolk County Council. Welcome to this annual general meeting of the County Council being held today, Thursday, the 28th of May, 2026. If we now move to those who have given their apologies to the meeting, and I'll ask Lane Tisdall, Committee Officer, to give the apologies, please.
Thank you. We have apologies today from Councillor Stephen Grimmer, Councillor Jonathan Whedon, Councillor Liz Wivington,
3,
Councillor Serene Shibley-Sexton,
4,
Councillor Will Porteous,
5,
and Councillor Peter Lawrence.
6.
Thank you.
So there's 6.
Thank you very
Not
much.
there. It's not bad.
We now move to agenda item 2, which is the election of the Chair of the Council for the 2026 municipal year. Can I invite nominations for the position of Chairman for the year ahead? Councillor Mason-Billig.
I would like to nominate Councillor Robert Savage to be Chairman for the forthcoming year.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you have a seconder? Yeah, Councillor Watkins. Do you have any other nominations? Councillor.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Cllr Julian Kirk, please.
And do you have a seconder for that, please?
I second that for Julian Kirk.
Right.
Okay, there's the
Thank you.
agenda that I've just put up on the chat.
So we have 2 nominations, and we'll have an electronic vote. We will take, as Councillor Savage was nominated first, we will take Councillor Savage first. Those I think everyone has voted, so that's for 40, abstentions 7, and against 31.
Oh, there you
So in
have
that
it.
case, I declare that Councillor Julian Kirk is duly elected the Chair of Norfolk County Council for the next year. So I'd like to congratulate Councillor Kirk on his appointment. And I'll now hand over the chair to Councillor Kirk.
Councillor Kirk. Kirk or Kirkin? Need to Google that one in a minute. Very quiet, isn't it? While they change over. I don't know who this councillor is. It's very quiet, isn't it? Right, while we're waiting, I am going to find out who this councillor is. Let's have a quick look. Right, because there are 84. So what we actually have 40 candidates in the sitting of County Council. We have 13 Liberal Democrats, 12 Green, 9 Great Yarmouth First Restore Britain, 8 Conservatives, 1 Independent and 1 Labour. So let's find out who Kirkin is. While they are doing their thing, we are just going to pop over to, I think, yeah, this page. So we're just going to pop over to this page and see if we can find, it did say Kirkin, didn't they? So it would be K. Let's just get there quick. Did they say Kirkin? Julian Kirk. If it is, that is reform. Let's just find out if he or she is in yet. Who knows? Don't know. Here they come. So let's find out if the name is, I mean, he's got a chain around his neck, so I imagine that is a Julian. There we go. I think that's this chap here. Marshland North. Interesting. Right, what are we up to? Taking pictures. Interesting. Very interesting. We have reform. Reform at the helm.
I, Julian Kirk, having been appointed to the office of Chair of the Council of the County of Norfolk, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Oh my God. We have reform at the helm of Norfolk County Council.
I undertake to be guided by the County Council's Code of Conduct
Julian Kirk
in the performance of my function in that office.
We've just literally joined the, we are about an hour behind, but that's fine. We have the agenda in.
We now move to agenda item 3, the minutes from the County Council meeting held on Tuesday the 24th of March 2026. Please note this is for matters of accuracy only. We now move to agenda item 4, election of Vice Chair of the Council for the 2026-2027 municipal year.
Councillor.
I invite nomination for the position of Vice Chair for the year ahead.
Julian Kirk does not ring a bell.
I would like to propose Councillor Dan Roper. Thank you.
Does he have a seconder? Do you have a seconder?
Lib Dem over there.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
There is another nomination, sorry. I'd like to propose Councillor Mike Westman. Thank you.
Okay, this is.
Have you a seconder?
On.
Thank you. Okay, we'll put this to the vote, please.
We'll go first with Cllr Roper.
The first vote will be for Cllr Roper. Thank you.
Okay. And then when we find out who's in, we can have a look at who it is. So Cllr Roper is who they're voting on for the time being.
Thank you. We will reset that.
He is Coltshall and Spixworth Division, and he was elected on the 11th of May. Something's happened inside. Something to do with the votes, I think. Malfunction. Right, so at the moment they are voting for Roper, which is Daniel Roper. I think for the what we got here, Vice Chair.
Everybody's voted okay? No problems?
Okay.
And he's Liberal Democrat.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know, Alex. I need to find out what is going on, and this is what I'm doing.
Oh,
Okay. You get your
Because this is either going to be a crash course for the next 12 months.
Okay.
Well, longer than that, really, because how long they're going to be sitting there for, but how bad is bad going to get? I must remember
did you get a vote or not?
Comments.
Yeah. Okay.
Chairman, could I ask that we start this again? There seems to be some confusion and some technical issues.
What is going on? What is going on with the vote board? Because if there's technical issues, we could say, well, was there technical issues with voting reform? Where does it end?
Sorry, if I could just confirm what had happened. The Chair was just holding their vote, as is often the convention. The Chair has now voted, and that now makes the numbers correct. Chair, I'll have to ask if you wish to now use your casting vote. In matters which are tied, the Chair gains a casting vote. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yes, my casting vote would be against.
Well, of course it would. It's Liberal Democrat. Of course he's going to vote against. Who's the other option?
So, Dan Roper is 39 for and against 39.
That's the Chair's casting vote.
And you're going to vote against, so it's
And that's 40 with my casting vote.
So that motion.
40 and 39. So who's
That
the second
motion's fallen.
person?
So if we go to the vote now on the second councillor, Cllr Western, I believe. That's it.
Right, are we reset and go for the next vote, please?
Yeah, who is it? Who do you reckon the next one is going to be? I think it's going to be a reform. Vice, I really do.
Same again, please. For, against, abstain.
Who? Come on, who?
Apologies, we'll put it back on. Can we please reissue Alex, election of Vice Chair, Councillor Mike Weston?
Mike Weston. Okay, let's take a look who Mike Weston is. That'd be under W. Okay, let me just take you over to the screen. Right, Mike Weston. Right, just bear with me. Is Labour Division Heatherset. Okay. That's who. Okay, let's just bring up the vote.
Yeah. Everybody voted okay?
Yeah. We're too short, I believe. One short. Everybody check your press your buttons.
So Labour, I think he's the
Okay.
one Labour.
For Cllr Western, 38, against 32, and 7 abstentions. Thank you. And Mike Weston is duly elected as the Vice Chair. Congratulations.
We have Labour. Reform as Chair, Labour as Vice Chair. So that's going to be interesting.
Mike Weston, would you like to come up? Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are.
God, are they all over 70? Or is that really naughty of me to say? 60? They're all over 60. Right, let's just have a quick look while they are getting themselves seated at the agenda. So we have election of Vice Chair to the Council, and then we have a vote of thanks to the outgoing Chair, and then announcements from the Chair, the Leader and the Chief Executive. Oh, the fun, the joys. It's a very slow process, isn't it? Right, he's got his chain on. And you're going to the wrong seat, mate. Got his placard at the front of him. Hi, Dallum.
I, Mike Westman, having been appointed to the office
got
of
reform
Vice
as Chair.
Chair of the Council of the County of
that face
Norfolk,
exactly.
declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to be
Now, that's
guided
Labour.
by the County
Labour is
Council's
now
Code of Conduct in the
Vice Chair.
performance of my functions in that office.
You said it. I might agree. They turned down the Lib Dem voice. Yeah.
That's it, don't worry about the screen. It's just
Well, thank you.
May I
Alex,
remind
for
you, the
joining
meeting
me.
of the Council will not extend beyond 3 hours unless it
enjoy.
is extended
Have a
in
good day.
accordance with Rule 11.1N
See you
of the
later.
Council Procedure Rules. However, it is my intention to enact Rule 4
And you can always come back and watch it at a
and
later date.
Rule 4V and Rule 4V1 of the Constitution once the meeting period has elapsed. If any business remains, the practical application of this will be that the meeting will continue on a vote-only basis. I intend to join the meeting after 2 hours for a short break of around 30 minutes and no longer.
Well, let's not go to 2 hours, please.
We now move to Agenda 5, vote of thanks to the outgoing Chair.
Yeah.
I would like to thank Tom Fitzpatrick for undertaking the role of Chair for the last year. He's been a true ambassador for Norfolk. I call upon the group leaders to propose a vote of thanks to the outgoing chair before moving to the vote. Group leaders, David. Okay. We go in order I've got written down here. Liberal Democrats, Cllr Watkins.
Cllr Mason-Billig first.
Okay. Could we have Cllr Mason-Billig first, please?
Thank you, Chairman. I've known Tom Fitzpatrick for some years now, and he has been an absolute exemplary chairman of this council. He has been a great ambassador. He's travelled many places across Norfolk. And he's been very competent and an absolute gentleman. And sadly, he is no longer a member of this council, and he will be a great loss to it. Tom Fitzpatrick is a North Norfolk District Councillor, and he was a previous leader of that council, and he's served on North Norfolk for 15 years. He's also been leader of the Conservative group here at Norfolk County Council, so he is someone with a great deal of experience. I understand he's also chair of the Eastern Inshore Fisheries and Conservation Authority, a trustee and chairman of the Thursford Collection, and he has the freedom of the City of London, which was something I didn't know. He is going to be sorely missed, and I would like to thank him very much for his service over the past 12 months. And while I have the floor, I would also like to thank Councillor Robert Savage, who has been the Vice Chairman during that period of time and who has also served this council in an exemplary way. So thank you to both of you. You're going to be missed, Tom, and Robert, you're going to be missed in the chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Watkins.
God, are they going to go
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I extend my congratulations to you on your election to this esteemed office, and I wish both you and the Vice Chair an enjoyable and successful year. I would like to pay tribute to the outgoing Chairman, Tom Fitzpatrick. Tom has performed the role throughout the past civic year with good grace and distinction, and has more than met the high expectations required. We often know that there are times when temperatures can rise, not just outside of this glorious early summer weather, but during the heat of debate in this chamber. Tom has been firm, fair and unflappable when he has had to diffuse the occasional awkward situation that has arisen. He can take great credit for the fact that the vast majority of our debates have been conducted in a respectful way and in the right spirit. I know that Tom has had a very busy year representing the County Council at a huge number of different events across the county. During this time, he has brought people from all walks of life together to celebrate the very best that we can offer. Tom's theme for the civic year has been, who is my neighbour? Know your neighbour. And how important that is. There are so many people across Norfolk who, for whatever reason, experience loneliness and isolation in their lives. Having somebody to reach out to, a friendly voice, a kind smile, a good deed, often means so much. And Tom, through his efforts as chairman, has successfully highlighted this as a crucial social issue, and with it the need for strong, dynamic communities. I hope that the council can continue to take this work forward. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I would also like to put on record my appreciation of the efforts in the Vice Chairman role of Councillor Robert Savage. Thank you very much indeed. And return very briefly again to the important values of respect and decorum. And I sincerely hope that despite our differences, and there are many, that none of us forget that we are here to represent the best interests of the people of Norfolk over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Webb.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations to you. I'd like to offer personal as well as Green Group thanks to Tom for being a very good-natured, knowledgeable and efficient chair. Not always an easy balance, but you definitely achieved it. Perhaps most importantly, we extend our thanks for always being
yeah, this is
always being
Webb.
fair and respectful to all members.
Webb.
The mark of an excellent chair and a spirit in which I hope
party, and the division
his successor
is
will continue. We wish you
she was re-elected
very well after your
I remember her
13 years, I think, service at the council, and also our commiserations to Councillor Savage. I'm sorry that we're not seeing you up there. But thank you.
Councillor Savage. Let's just check who Councillor Savage is.
Thank you, Councillor. Cllr Bick.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I first congratulate you and your colleague, Cllr Mike Westman, to Chairman and Vice Chairman. I think you will both be very worthy holders of those offices. I knew Tom barely a year as Chairman of the Council. On occasion, we nearly sparred, but I would like to say very genuinely that Tom has served this council and served as chair with aplomb, and I'm very happy to endorse this vote of thanks.
So I definitely recognise his face.
Great Yarmouth Restore.
Thank you, Chair. And I would just like to congratulate yourself and the Deputy Chair on your elections. And as one of the new elected councillors, obviously I've had no direct dealings with Tom, although have naturally followed proceedings online, and would certainly like to endorse the note of thanks for his service over the past year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I'd now ask the councillor to raise their hands if they approve the vote of thanks. Carried 100%. Thank you.
Oh, really? Who's not going to?
The vote of thanks have been agreed. Councillor Fitzpatrick, Tom, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad the chairman didn't need to use his casting vote on that last one. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everyone for the very kind words. I'm not quite sure I recognise myself, but thank you very much. But I'd also like to thank this council for last year doing me the honour of electing me as chairman of the county council, and some of the people that did so that are no longer councillors are in the public gallery, and I'd like to thank them and everyone as well. It's been a very enjoyable year. I'd like to thank Margaret, my consort, for coming along to things. She particularly enjoyed the musicals. It's very good. And I'd also like to thank Councillor Savage, who was a very good vice chair and attended lots of things on behalf of the council as well. So thank you for that, Robert. I'd like to thank the civic team for all their hard work, but especially Sarah and Lewis, and of course Tony, the driver. It's not everyone that can get me half an hour early for a meeting or an event, but Tony didn't just rely on the half hour. We were always there on good time. He checked everything. So thanks, the three of them in particular, but also the whole civic team. And all the officers of the council. There is an amazing number of people work here for the good of this county. But what I really enjoyed was going round parts of the county. I'd just visit occasionally and seeing the incredible variety of what's been done for others in the community. I was pleased to get the chance to meet and work with the lieutenancy, the two high sheriffs, but also the many other organisations that do so much to help others in this county, whether it's uniformed organisations or the informal neighbourhood helps, people volunteering it do so much for others, but also those who do so much to help others, they just help their neighbours, and it's done quietly, and it's done as a matter of course, and it's done without any fuss. And if you ask those people, did they expect thanks for it, they'd be surprised you even noticed they did anything, because they assume that's what everyone does, because that's what good neighbours do, and that's what makes a cohesive community. The fact that so many people do all these things is what makes Norfolk such a great county in which to live, work and carry out our everyday business. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for your kind words. Thank you for members over the past 13 years that I've worked with, and particularly members of my own party, for putting up with me. But in particular, I'd like to thank all the councillors for kind words today, all the officers of this council for the incredible work they do. But in particular, I'd like to thank Norfolk County Council for doing me the incredible honour of making me chairman for the previous year. Thank you very much.
Bless him. Back to the reform geezer.
Yeah.
Like I say, we have.
We now move on to agenda item 6. Announcements from the chair, leader, or chief executive. Maximum 15 minutes.
Do you have any announcements that you'd like to make?
Yeah. I've chosen a theme for this year of supporting Norfolk.
Yeah.
It hopefully covers a multitude. I should be looking at supporting our uniform people, whether cadets through to senior service throughout the county, and all those attached to them.
Can you be a bit more specific?
Supporting Norfolk will cover the voluntaries and the good neighbours. So my theme is going to cover everybody that works there to the good of this fine county of ours.
So is that the good neighbourhood scheme?
So we look forward to working along with many organisations.
That's why I need you, Alex. And
have we got any announcements from the chief executive?
No, none from the chief executive.
No. Okay. Yeah. We now move to agenda item 7, items of urgent business. There is no urgent business to be considered at this meeting.
Well, it's the first one. So
item 8.
I'd be very surprised if they were.
We now move to agenda 8, members to declare interests. Do councillors have an interest they wish to declare?
No, carry on.
No. Item 9, agenda for Norfolk County Council elections. Invite councillors to move May 26th. I invite councillors to move the report. We have a proposer.
I'm very happy to move that, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Seconder. Thank you. Councillors to raise their hands and declare that they've moved the report.
So a vote for the report be held.
Sorry, yeah, a vote for the report first. All those in favour?
I'm not actually sure what the report is, or even where to find that, to be honest with you.
Thank you. It's carried.
Lovely. And now we move on to item 10, the election of the leader of the council.
We now move on to item 10, election of the leader of the council. I invite nominations for the position of leader of the council.
Oh, here we go.
Have we any nominations?
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to formally propose Councillor David Bick as leader of Norfolk County Council. David brings a wealth of experience from both business and public life. Before joining this council, he built a successful career in communications and financial affairs and has long been recognised for his understanding of governance, accountability and leadership. Since being elected to represent Thetford West in a by-election last year, he has shown himself to be a determined advocate for transparency, sound decision-making and putting residents first. He's never been afraid to challenge difficult issues or ask the hard questions on behalf of the people of Norfolk. The recent election results showed that residents want change and a fresh direction for this council. And at a time of significant challenges for local government, I believe Norfolk needs a leader with experience, energy and clear focus. And so therefore I believe David Bick has those qualities, and I commend him to the council.
Robin Hunter-Clarke. He's
Thank you,
he's
Councillor. Have you a second?
South Reform.
Thank you.
He was
Would you
just
like
then
to speak now?
speaking.
Reserve your right.
I'll reserve my right, thank you.
Thank you. Any more nominations?
Justine Thomas, should I say? My dogs will bark now and
Justine,
again.
Councillor, would you like to speak?
She's...
Hello. Yeah, I can only reiterate what Cllr Hunter-Clarke has said. I think he's given a good review of Cllr Bick, and I haven't got anything to add. I commend him to the council as the nomination for leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we going to have a vote on this, or...?
We'll go to the vote on the system.
Yeah, we'll go on the system vote for this, please.
Well, what do you reckon? He's going to get a good 35 plus, I would say. David Bick. Yeah, Thetford West. Sprowston. Stephen Bailey. Sprowston voted.
Everybody voted okay?
Bloody hell, Sprowston. Really?
For 39.
39.
Against 31. Abstentions 8.
8?
That vote is carried.
And if we just let the names scroll through.
The names will scroll through now.
They would normally put up a thing in the corner of all the names of what is being voted, and they're not currently at the moment, which is a shame, because I'd like to see who abstained and who voted no, to see if it was the same kind of swing as it has been the last year with how they vote. They stick to their own groups. But yeah, they're not showing it. They're not bringing it up in the corner. Now, like I say, we are running an hour average behind on the meeting, so
okay.
It does
Everybody
give me room to skip. I haven't done yet.
I declare that Cllr Bick is elected leader of Norfolk County Council.
Are we going to see him? Are we going to have a shot?
May I invite you up here, David, please?
Oh, no, he's still staying in his seat.
Oh, you're staying there then? Good. Okay. We move to agenda item 11, notification of members of the Cabinet and their intended portfolio of responsibilities.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I'll keep this succinct. The voters have spoken.
David Bick,
the voters have expressed their wish for change. I think they've also expressed hope.
Voted.
So clearly one of our primary responsibilities is to have a laser focus on value for money and providing the best possible service at a value for money price and condition. And with that in mind, and also in mind in terms of allocation of roles and their descriptions, I hope they now better reflect names and descriptions that the public will understand, which I do not, and we do not believe has hitherto always been the case. So, starting with me as leader with budget responsibility, Robin Hunter-Clarke, Deputy Leader, responsible for strategy and LGR. Justine Thomas, Chief Whip and with budget responsibility. Scott Hussey, Adult Social Care and Public Health. Wendy Atkinson will be the Cabinet Member for Children, Families and SEND. Cllr Kher will be the Cabinet Member for Business, Skills and Agriculture. Nick Taylor will be the Cabinet Member For commercial assets and revenue generation,
Scott
Pat Gould will be the Cabinet Member for Countryside, Coast and Culture.
Obviously.
Jason Butler will be the Cabinet Member for Efficiency, Performance and Pensions Oversight.
That's a fucking joke.
And Tom Dickerson will be the Cabinet Member for Highways and Transport. That completes the list of 10, Chairman.
Thank you,
God.
Leader.
I will be doing the same thing each month with these meetings.
Council appointments for the 26-27 municipal year. You've got all of these in front of you, I hope.
But we need to watch these guys. We
Councillor
really
Bick,
do.
would you move the report, please?
Happy to move the report, Chairman.
Seconded. Have we got a seconder? Thank you.
I don't know what report they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so we'll start with the allocation of committee places.
We're going to take them one by one. We'll start with the allocation of committee places shown at Appendix A. And
2.1 on the report.
Which is probably more
2.1 on the report.
And can we prepare an electronic vote on that?
Could we have electronic vote on this, please?
The lady next to him, I think, is the clerk. So she will be helping him through probably the first few meetings to know what he's doing. I think her name's Amy something, but don't hold me to that. I can't remember.
Can everybody vote, please?
Yeah. Can you all vote, please?
And again, we're not getting the votes up in the corner.
Mr. Chairman, I think some people don't seem to have the appendix.
Sorry, Chairman, if I may be of assistance, it's the supplementary agenda. If everybody has that in front of them, it's Appendix A in the supplementary agenda that was circulated.
Agenda. Let's see if it's in the agenda pack. There's 51 pages. I'm not to be going through that right now.
Yeah, Councillor.
Thank you. Are we voting on recommendation 2.1? Yes, we are. Okay. Yes. Can we have the vote changed to say that, please, that everybody's clear on what, especially for the public? So if we say to Alex, could you please reset the vote? Just put 2.1 out ahead.
Okay.
Alex, could we reset the vote, please, for 2.1?
Councillor Roper.
Councillor Roper.
Chair, on a point of order, we have 92 committee places and only 90 have allocated within this report. It does look as though actually some further work or discussion needs to be done between the group leaders before council can actually vote on this matter, because there are 2 seats on select committees that are not allocated yet. They need to be done on political proportionality. By my own rudimentary maths, one of those should go to the Liberal Democrats and one should go to the Green Group, but I would want some confirmation from that from the monitoring officer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor. The way that's been calculated, it ends up with 2 places which effectively represent the 2 councillors in the organisation who are not aligned into groups. So generally we do the maths and then you have gaps. So those gaps, if they remain where they are, will afterwards be allocated to those individuals. Thank you.
So like I say, we are running an hour behind the meeting at the moment.
Would you like 5 minutes to go through this before you vote? You would?
Shall we adjourn the meeting?
Adjourn for 5 minutes for you to check on this, please.
Could we go
for
a proposer for that?
Been kind of slow.
Can we have a proposer to postpone?
Happy to propose we adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Seconder.
Adjourn.
And show of hands.
Show of hands for a 5-minute adjournment. Thank you.
Excellent. 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Let's do the 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Right. One of the good things about running an hour behind is we can fast forward. So just bear with me. Okay, we're just going to fast forward to here.
On seats that have not been allocated.
There we go.
So I would suggest that we either do that in the room rather than a backroom discussion, or bring it back to the next council meeting.
We've got Tim Adams sitting behind her, who was the lead.
Chairman, if I may, Chairman, if we could move to the vote on 2.1.
No, sorry, District Council leader, chair, but not now.
Councillor Shires, are you making a procedural motion on that?
I am indeed, thank you.
Okay. Which one?
Very clever. I don't have the number in front of me.
Okay. I think then we'll just move to the report, please, and we'll go to the vote on 2.1.
We'll move to the report. We'll go to the vote on 2.1.
Which is, if we say, allocation of committee places.
Which is the allocation of committee places.
2.1, let's see if I can find it.
Under Appendix A. Okay. The vote will be with us in a short while. Here we go.
2.1, the approval of minutes. The minutes held on Tuesday, 17th of February. That is 2.1 on the agenda pack that I'm looking at. So I'm assuming that's what
Has everybody
they are
voted? Any problems?
trying to agree on.
Okay, and then if we can just read through.
So we for 55, against 22, and there were no abstentions. That's carried. Thank you.
And if we just let the names scroll through.
Okay. I think also what I might do for a little while is try and pick it up an hour later for things like this. So if they do need to adjourn to sort stuff out, I can skip it and then catch up with it. But this has been running live. I'm not sure if they've actually finished yet. I doubt it. Let's have a look. No, I think they are still running live on their channel.
Okay. So if we can then move to recommendation 2.2.
We'll move on to recommendation 2.2.
And that is to appoint committee chairs.
I don't have 2.2 on my...
That's to appoint committee chairs and vice chairs as specified in Appendix B.
We've had submitted to us a list of vice chairs.
We have had a list. You've got a list of vice chairs somewhere? Yep.
Unless that was...
No.
Just putting up on the screen.
There we go.
I think they are still going through.
These are the nominations as submitted by the Reform UK group.
So,
Thank you, Chairman. Can I ask that we move for 2.2 with the list that's on the screen and we take a vote on that? Thank you.
I would like to move an amendment, please, with the top item there, Strategic and Corporate Select Committee. There is a precedent within this council that the leader or representative of the main opposition party on the council takes that position. That has been the case on this council for very many years. So I would therefore like, that is the customary practice on this council. So I would therefore like to propose my colleague, Councillor Dan Roper, as chair of the Strategic and Corporate Select Committee. Thank you.
I'd like to second that, please, Chairman.
Thank you. Motion. Okay, and so if we just
Watkins. He's a Liberal Democrat, Division Eton.
We are now voting on an amendment to that list.
Right, Dan, thank you.
Roper to be the chair.
Chocolate.
Okay. Okay.
I'll pay you back when you get
we're
back.
now voting on the amendment to that. Dan Roper to be the chair of this
Strategic and Corporate Select
committee. Are we going to have electronic vote on that again?
Can we just give the minutes? Just give a minute
Yeah.
for them to set that back up. So that is an amendment to the proposal put forward by the Reform UK group.
God, she's got her work cut out.
That is going to be amendment to the proposal from the Reform Group.
I didn't. I missed what the name was to check. I was just seeing who the other chap was. So basically what they're doing is they're just getting the people in place. Is it classed as subcommittees?
Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Please. We haven't had sight of this list of names in advance of this meeting. Is that not customary for that to happen?
If the chair refers to me as monitoring officer, in terms of making nominations for chairs for those committees, we have given every group the opportunity to put forward those nominations. Otherwise, we would have taken them from the floor in terms of this meeting. What we have here is essentially those nominations from the floor, merely provided on a block basis. So there is no, I don't see there's any detriment or any, because they would have merely come from the floor in any event. They have just been now submitted as a block. Thank you.
Chair?
Ready to go? Yes, a vote on the amendment, please.
That was Daniel Elmer, Division 4 Home.
Chair, just coming back to Cllr Shires' earlier motion, I'd like to propose that we move a motion under 12.10 section 3 to defer consideration of this motion.
We'll complete this one first. Thank you.
In the middle of a vote and amendment.
I think there's many on the floor that aren't happy with what's happening at the moment. I'm not sure if it's because the way it's been presented that they've not had any forewarning, or whether or not it's
Thank you. Everybody's in.
the names on the list. I don't know.
This is the vote on the amendment.
Sorry, that was a little bit fast. Can we go back?
That's fine.
And they're not actually showing us either, because sometimes we see a screen.
The figures from the top there.
For, we've got 32, abstain, none, against 46.
The amendment falls.
The amendment falls.
So if we go back to Councillor Elmer's procedural motion.
Councillor Elmer.
Thank you, Chair. I'd now like to move a procedural motion under section 12.10A3 of the Constitution to postpone consideration of this motion until a further meeting.
Oh. He's not quite sure what to do. Just waiting on the monitoring officer to give him direction.
Okay. Just hold on a sec before we go to the vote. Let's just double check that we're getting this right.
There is a lot of hanging around, isn't there? Within their constitution, there's a lot of rules, a lot. So I think she's just checking, making sure that the rule that he's given is applicable to this.
12.10A3, the postponed consideration of the motion. Excellent. So we've got to move in a seconder, so we need to go to.
So she's now explaining to him what he now needs to do, because he doesn't know.
Go to a vote on postponing consideration of this motion to another meeting. I would suggest you're proposing the next meeting, Councillor Elmer. Thank you. So if we could go to a vote on that matter, please. Your voting's now up.
Okay. I think they're gonna agree on this one. Not quite sure who that chap is in the white suit.
Has everybody
Just check they've all had an opportunity to vote.
Have you all voted? Okay. For 30, abstentions none, against 47.
47.
That's failed.
Okay. So
Thank
now
you.
we go back to the agenda and we're looking
So they can't vote on it because they've all gone against it. And then they've gone against voting on sorting it out in another meeting.
2.3.
Oh, sorry. No, we're coming back to chairs and vice chairs. Apologies.
Okay.
We'll go back to 2.2.
Back to 2.2 again. Sorry about that.
And if we could put the table back up when the votes have scrolled through of the nominees.
Okay.
So glad she knows what she's talking about.
If you look on the screen in a moment, you'll get...
Okay, and that is now the vote, is that? Give me time to vote, please.
Yeah, can you vote, please?
And again, we're not seeing the
Everybody voted okay? Yep.
the voting board. That's so annoying.
47, abstentions 1, and against 30. That's passed. Thank you.
Hopefully they'll sort that out in time. God, this is slow.
2.3, that's the one. Brilliant.
Okay, moving on to 2.3, appointment of those additional committees as listed in Appendix C.
That's fine. It's just a reminder of the...
Okay.
Chairman, I think it's at the bottom of that page, our list. If you scroll down on the document.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I'd like to move that.
Oh, no. Hold on. We're just going to have to get another document up. Apologies.
God, there's a lot on this agenda.
Sorry, Karen, can I borrow you a minute?
Like I say, there's 51 pages.
They sent through some...
And I'm struggling a little bit with going directly to where they're at because I'm having to scroll up and down, obviously, but...
All we're voting here, I think, is the number of places. Yeah.
Sorry, just for clarity, we're only voting on the places on those committees. Again, it is within the gift of group leaders to make the determination of which names they appoint to those committees. So what this council needs to do today is appoint the places, and then obviously we will notify you as soon as group leaders have told us who is going to sit on those places. That's okay. So if we could go to the vote on that matter, please.
I think we're still on Agenda 11, which is notification of members to Cabinet and their intended portfolio responsibilities.
Okay. For 75, abstentions none, against 3.
Okay, so that's gone through.
Okay, and it's the same situation with the next vote, which is at 2.4.
moving on.
See, because we're not seeing the
2.4
screen, we're
next.
not seeing what they are
After this is scrolled.
voting on. I can't see what her name is.
Yeah, and then if we could go to the votes.
Okay, we will go to the vote on this.
If I
Have
could
you all voted?
skip every 10 seconds, I would right now, but I can't. Because I'll go too far. And then I won't be able to pick up where I am.
Okay.
So
470.
enduring
Abstentions none. Against 6.
these bits.
Thank you.
You right, Ellie? My dog. You right, Pickle?
Thank you. Item number 13 on the agenda, political assistant posts. It's on page 39. Yeah.
Page 39.
I
right.
call on the lead to of the council
Page
to move the
39.
report. I will. Thank you.
I move the report of the officer recommendation.
Have you a seconder?
I'm very happy to second that, Chairman.
Thank you.
Political assistant
Leader,
posts,
would you like to-
summary.
5 minutes to.
I'd hand over my speaking rights on this to Cllr Hunter-Clarke.
That's very kind of you, Leader.
We just confirm that Cllr Hunter-Clarke is then the proposed.
I'd like to reserve my right to speak to the end, if that's okay, of the debate.
Okay. Seconder?
Oh, no, sorry, he is.
He is a seconder, yeah. Thank you.
Any further, anybody wish to speak?
Councillor?
So I'd like to propose a procedural motion to adjourn this debate until the July full council meeting. My reasons being it's not clear how we've ended up with this report, which is officer-led. It comes with no supporting evidence, only a statement that it will save money by removing 3 job roles, which you could actually say about any post within the council, but in itself doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, or that it would benefit the council or Norfolk residents. There's no acknowledgement of any resulting extra work requirement on other officers, and at a time when we have over 60 new councillors and the impending biggest reorganisation of local government ever, it's head-scratching to think it was a good time to put this forward. There was no consultation with group leaders before this proposal was published, and it seems all group leaders are equally perplexed by it, whether or not they go on to support it. In addition, one of my biggest issues with it is with its absence of an equality impact assessment. The report says there are no direct equalities implications, but I don't know how we can be sure of that when there hasn't been an impact assessment undertaken, which is surely the point of doing one. I suggest there may well be potential implications both on staff and group leaders and members who may have protected characteristics. It would seem that the bringer of this proposal has given no consideration to that or this council's obligations under the public sector equalities duty, which is a concern as we start this new administration. It feels like a politically charged, rushed proposal which puts 3 Norfolk residents kind of cruelly and publicly out of work, and sets a bit of a trap for any groups who firmly believe in the worth and value of political assistant of the role and the value it brings to groups, officer workload and dynamics, and the impact of and functioning of the council.
Assistant roles were introduced to Norfolk County Council by
those are my reasons
2001. These roles are fixed for the term of the council and have been in place
so that we can have those discussions amongst group leaders. Thank you.
Have you a seconder? Thank you.
The recommendation is to agree to remove the role of political assistant from the council structure.
Well, Mr. Chairman, councillors, I fully recognise that this is a potentially contentious issue, and there may be many of you across the chamber that are minded to support the recommendations before us today. After all, it's an easy win and an easy saving to make. It might even command a degree of support amongst the public.
Brian Watkins.
Might not be a huge amount of money we're talking about, but it is significant. However, this is a time of momentous change for this council, as it deals with the huge complexities of organisational change and the likely transition to new unitary councils over the next couple of years, and that will be a massive task. At a time of great change, great challenge, it has never been more essential for the council to be run smoothly and efficiently, and I genuinely believe that the removal of these posts will make that a whole lot harder. Political assistants increase the efficiency of councillors within party groups by providing dedicated admin, research and strategic support for those they serve, as well as strengthening the council's corporate functions within democratic services. Whilst I understand from the leader, Councillor Bick, that his group have decided, well, it's unlikely that they will pursue the option at this stage, there are several examples, of course, of reform administrations around the country that have felt that it would be in their interest to appoint a political assistant or advisor. And they may wish to reserve that right. I'm not going to pretend for 1 minute, I'm sure Councillor Webb as well, that our groups don't benefit, or my group at the moment, don't benefit greatly from having a political assistant. Of course we do. However, I'm very mindful of the need for the role to provide good value for money for the council moving forward. That's very important. There needs to be openness and transparency. Well, there you have it, fellow councillors. I've made my case as strongly as I possibly can. I believe that the political assistant role has generally worked well here at Norfolk County Council over the past 20 years, and my group will be opposing the recommendation for their removal today. Thank you.
Thing is, there's only 13
Thank you, Councillor.
of them.
As this is a procedural, I think we ought to go straight to the vote on this.
So just remind the procedural vote is to defer this to
That's not a big number.
To defer the debate to another meeting.
Sorry, could I just have that clarified from the monitoring officer? I didn't hear.
Can you clarify why we can't speak from the floor?
So this is merely a procedural debate, and the debate here is simply, do you vote to adjourn this to another meeting, or do you not vote for that and therefore it will be debated at this meeting? So that is a procedural vote we are deciding upon. If the vote is carried, then the debate substantively on this paper will happen at another meeting, and if a vote falls, the debate on this will happen today. Thank you.
So Reform already wants to cut.
Okay. Thank you. 432 abstentions, none against, 46.
What North Horsham County Council?
It's the
Norfolk
procedural
County Council.
motion's failed.
Just let that go through and then just remind them that the paper has been moved and seconded.
Yeah.
So now we're going into the substantive debate on the political assistance paper.
They're looking at the board for something, aren't they? God, these meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think from now on I will do it an hour later, so we can.
We're now going to move on to the substantive
skip.
Motion and debate on item 13.
And then I have the lovely pleasure of going back and time-stamping all the...
Well, Mr Chairman, I'm waiting with bated breath. The Leader of the Council has got nothing to say. The Deputy Leader of the Council has got nothing to say on this point, or has reserved his right. None of the other Reform councillors have put their hands up on this because they have nothing to say. So I thought I'd better put my hand up because I appreciate you've all had a very intensive induction over the last 2 weeks and have covered many departments of this council. I doubt if you've had any discussion or explanation on
Dan Roper
a political assistant or how they fit into democratic services. I respectfully say your silence means you don't know what you're voting for on this. And you have simply seen a headline figure and are thinking, yeah, we'll go with that. And maybe that's a sign, of things to come at this council. I would refer again to what Cllr Watkins had said. You may wish to see how your colleagues in Kent and Warwickshire have acted on this issue. They've actually created these posts rather than actually filling ones that already existed because they saw that they were needed within their democratic services structure. I think it's a shame that you've not taken the opportunity to have some time to think about this and see how these roles fit in to what you need as an administration. So I would respectfully say we should vote against today.
Councillor Neale.
Thank you, Chair. I think my colleague here has eloquently put forward the case of that we haven't been well informed and it's very sketchy what's in this proposal.
Councillor Neale.
Apart from
Green Party, Division Nelson.
Massive guillotine of cutting without... I would like to know, has any consideration been to actually look at reducing the hours of the political assistant? It seems either or.
Yeah.
Because that could be a discussion also if we'd have taken it away from here. Because it could be that we decided that instead of doing a full-time job, it could be a part-time job or whatever. And I don't see anything here because there's never been discussed with our group, so I can't say. And yes, I agree with Councillor Roper. It's very easy for those parties that have got shall I say, high financial backers who can provide private assistance to take this. But that's me just being a sceptic. Sorry.
Councillor Shires.
Can I just say I'm really disappointed to hear we've got jeering in this chamber. We do not experience that. It's not politics. It might be what you see in Westminster, but in Norfolk, we do not behave like that. We allow people to speak.
For the worst.
For the worst. If we are in a position where somebody speaks in this chamber and we do not respect them enough to let them finish a sentence, then we are in dire straits. That is appalling. But however, if I had wanted to sabotage a brand new group of councillors who hadn't done this before, the first thing I would propose would be the removal of the political assistants.
Councillor Elmer.
Well done, Lucy.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm not actually going to speak too much on the substantive motion itself because I think there are arguments on both sides. But I think there is a principle here, and the principle is that motions that come before this chamber should be led by the members and not by the officers.
Daniel
Now, I do want to congratulate one person, and I've got a lot of time for him, and it's Tom. I read normally it takes about 6 months to house train a new administration, but you seem to have done it in 6 minutes here today. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Councillor Price.
Thank you, Chair. I'll reflect on Councillor Elmer's words, but my own comment on that would be that it is interesting to see that this particular item is brought while the council was under no control, while we had an outgoing administration. And it is disappointing. I've got 15 years experience as a councillor, and that's probably as much as the administration has combined. But well, I'll share a little bit of understanding. This job takes a lot of time and dedication. There are a number of residents that need your support. Your political group needs your support. This administration, this council, the business of council needs your support. Having a single member of staff that supports you in that administration makes you a better councillor, gives more time to the residents that you're out there to serve. It helps drive the work at council to be more efficient, more informed, helps your group participate better. So, you know, it is a great shame that taking a fraction, a tiny amount away from a spend to which creates this democratic deficit here in this, and to see cheering and laughing, it is a sign of ignorance to understand the role here and the role as a councillor. So, I wish everyone the best of luck, and I will watch closely how well people perform in their role. So
I think we all will be.
Thank you, Councillor Colwell.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to speak in support of retaining the political assistants at Norfolk County Council. These posts, they're not accidental or an informal addition to the actual council structure. They are deliberate, they are legislated for, and they're designed to support elected members in the discharge of their democratic functions. And I want to go further on Cllr Roper. Let's be clear what the political assistants actually do. I want councillors here to realise this. They're not senior executives, they're not decision makers, they're researchers, they're coordinators, they're communicators who help elected members, particularly opposition groups, do the job the public expects of us. They prepare briefings, support motions and questions. They engage with external bodies, liaise with MPs and national organisations, and ensure that councillors from all walks of life are properly informed to scrutinise the administration effectively. So at a time when council business is actually becoming more complex, issues around local government reorganisation and devolution, becoming more technical, more fast-moving, I fear that removing the dedicated support actually risks weakening scrutiny and narrowing those diverse voices that fully participate in this chamber. So, as Councillor Price said, this is a matter for democracy at a time when we've got so many new councillors in the chamber. And I think it was in the induction that Tom McCabe said that this is the most change that this council has had in over 100 years. Surely we need that support and that experience. We're told the change will save £163,000, and no one underestimates the pressure on local government finances. But a budget this size, we must ask whether the savings justify the loss of a structured support for democratic accountability and effective opposition. I do not believe it does. The government guidance that's referenced, it doesn't call for the abolition. It asks councils to consider necessity, value for money, and proportionality. This might be a case for review and refinement, but not removal. If we value open and transparent, as Cllr Bick has said, and properly scrutinise local government, we should retain political assistance and ensure the system continues to support effective democracy in Norfolk County Council. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's all the questions.
I agree. Thing is, our 40 reform councillors going
They don't like change, do they, Chairman? We've been elected to this place to do things differently. And I can speak from experience. Maybe not all my members can, but I can assure you they have been briefed on the role of a political assistant. I've been a member of other local authorities that do not employ them. We are here to save the public money, and we're doing that from day one, and we're going to save £163,000. That's what we're proposing. This was not a proposal,
Let's start with your expenses,
from the Reform Group. This was a proposal by the Chief Executive of this council, because this council is in dire straits. We know local government is in dire straits, and we have an opportunity here to take away a party political role, in effect, and to save the public money, and that's exactly what we intend to do as an administration. Thank you.
This is Robert Hunter-Clarke, Durham South Division, Reform.
Cllr Bick, have you anything to say on this? Wind up.
Nothing to add, Chairman.
Thank you.
Bick, Leader of
We'll
Reform.
put this to the vote. Thank you.
It's going to be 40, isn't it? It's definitely going to be 40. The Reform are just going to. So they want to save 163,000, but at the same time they are going to fuck up all what that last chap just spoke about to get it functioning.
Has everybody voted?
Well-oiled machine.
Okay. For 46, abstentions 14, against 17.
46. Who's abstaining on this shit? Jesus Christ. You're there to vote.
Is to remove the post of political assistant. Thank you.
So that's the first damage they've done. They've removed 3 posts. The role of a political assistant is clearly defined in legislation. I can never say that bloody word. Let's see if we can find a little bit more. The political assistants are directed in their work by their group leader with a reporting line.
Thank you. I would now propose that we break for our lunch a few minutes early before we move on.
They want to go for lunch.
30 minutes and no longer. Thank you.
So you've just sacked 3 people and now you want to go for lunch and you want to talk about saving money. Right, while we're just there, we are going to quickly have a look at who they have now basically fired, which is, give me a second, it's that one that we're looking at. So, just check that you are saying the same page as me. Goodo. So, where are we up to? The political assistants are directed it in their work by their group leader with a reporting line to a council officer who provides overall management such as pay and rations. Day-to-day priorities are set and work is allocated by the group leader. Each political assistant is directed by their political group in the way that is best served the group's needs. And similarly, whether a political assistant work full-time or part-time to be determined by the group. A political assistant may carry out research to support the development of a group policy. That is probably the key issue of why they want to get rid of it. Because they do not want any research or supporting evidence against reform, do they? That's as clear as day. Well, it is to me. Absolutely ridiculous. The proposal could mean the deletion of 3 political assistant posts, which they have now agreed to. $163,000 if they're working to help the council. I don't see why that should be an issue of savings. But then we are talking reform. They are going to cut costs where it serves them. Right. Let's now click over to this one where, because we can fast forward yet again, we're going to be getting very close to coming up. Oh my God, are they still at lunch? So 33 minutes in and they're still at lunch. So they're actually now running over their 30 minutes. Right, on that note, I am going to quickly stretch my legs and I will be right back. In the meantime, I'm leaving you with this page. So I shall see you soon.
10.2 of the Council Procedure Rules, it is usual practice to take motions in order of one political group and non-aligned members, starting with the largest group, and then starting order again as time allows. Also, under paragraph 13.2, a motion or amendment cannot be moved. It is similar to one that has been rejected at a meeting of the Council in the last 6 months, unless the notice had been signed by at least 21 members. However, I have received notification from more than 21 members that they wished for motion 7 to be moved into the business of the meeting. I have also requested for it to be heard first. Therefore, I will move procedure motion to suspend standing orders to enable motion 7 to be heard first. Paragraph 11.1.0 of the Council Procedure Rules applies. Please, could I have a seconder for the procedural motion?
I would like to second this, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor.
And then if we put that procedural motion to the vote, and that is to hear motion 7 before all other motions.
So could we put this to the vote to hear motion 7 ahead of the vote, to vote for that, please? Move it up the list.
Oh, that was a quick one. I knew as soon as I left my chambers that they came on. But we're back. Have I missed anything?
Okay, thank you. For 55, abstentions 1, against 18. That's carried.
I don't really want to rewind. What are they just voted
So
on?
we will now have motion 7 first. Councillor Kemp. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This is a desperately needed motion to save Norfolk's care homes run by the Council's company Norse from being sold off to an American company.
Right.
Council, there is no mandate for this sell-off. These care homes are good. They are rated 30 out of the 34 institutions that we run are rated good or outstanding. What does that mean? It means the Care Quality Commission has rated the care given to our residents as really, really good, caring, effective, safe, responsive, well-led. North sets the standards for the whole sector. If we go ahead and sell them off, we will lose control not only over the fees, but the existence of these care homes, whether there are enough in various parts of Norfolk. We will have to be at the mercy of the private sector when we place people into care, and as the provider of last resort, we will have little choice. Pressure will be put on families, fees will go up. It is not possible for a private firm to invest in care homes more efficiently or more cheaply than the council can. People pay us their council tax to run services and not to run away from this. Social care is this council's core responsibility, core business and core duty. So this motion asks us to halt this sale, which was badly thought through, and to instead do the proper condition surveys and look at options and finances for keeping the care homes with the council. It's really, really important to understand that care home staff in North's care homes are to be better trained and to stay longer than those in the private sector. They are the gold standard and they are the jewel in Norfolk's crown, these care homes. Norse itself, the council's company, runs at least 36 companies across England and Wales providing services. So how could we let our company flee key services here in Norfolk, the home county? It does not make sense. We would lose control. When it was found that the council's company was not investing in the care home modernisation as it should have done, what should have happened was there should have been more scrutiny. But the previous administration there for 9 years, what did they do? They abolished the Social Care Committee, where papers would have come and members could have discussed things. They stopped the Norse Oversight Company from meeting, and then they stitched up the constitution so that motions brought by opposition parties could not be discussed. And they brought in a guillotine, a conservative guillotine. This is the opportunity to stop this, because people definitely voted for something different. They didn't like that. They wanted us to put residents first and have proper debate in this chamber, which is what people come to see. It's really important to think that if you sell things off, yet another privatisation, what does the public say if you ask them? Whether it's water, whether it's energy or the Royal Mail, the public has had a raw deal from privatisation in recent years. They're paying more and they're not getting the investment. Therefore, it's up to this council to stem the tide of the loss of services and to take back control. So I ask you to support this motion here today to set this council on the right track, taking responsibility and proper control of its services for the benefit of Norfolk residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you have a seconder?
I do.
I'm the seconder, Chair.
Thank you.
My one and only fan.
Would you like to speak now? Will I hold you?
No, I'd like to speak now, please.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, I support this motion and I thank Councillor Kemp for laying out the stark reality of what is at stake. The narrative presented to this chamber was simple, that care homes are ageing, the infrastructure needs investment and a private sale is the only way out.
Okay, so
but that is a completely false choice. The reality is, if these care homes need modernisation, a private overseas-backed corporation cannot access cheaper capital or finance than this local authority can. The idea that we must give away our freeholds and permanently surrender public accountability just to upgrade our buildings is fundamentally wrong. Once a core safety net is privatised, democratic control over fees, over staff welfare and the future of those beds is lost. No corporate assurance can bind a private company's balance sheet years down the line. As a council, we are legally the provider of last resort. We cannot fulfil that statutory duty if we systematically strip away our own capacity to care. We cannot outsource our core statutory responsibilities and call it governance. Our residents expect us to step up, not step away. Let's back this motion, get the independent facts and keep community care exactly where it belongs, in public hands. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I believe Councillor Watkins.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Chairman. I'll have an amendment, which I'll come to in a moment. This is undoubtedly a very complex and sensitive issue with far-reaching implications, not just for this council, but those that are likely to succeed it. It is therefore a decision that cannot be made lightly, and we have to be extremely mindful that there are legal and contractual matters that have to be very carefully understood. I have a great deal of sympathy from a political perspective with what Councillor Kemp is trying to achieve with her motion and the important points that have been made both by her and by Councillor Weston. I've been highly critical of the previous Conservative administration's overall handling of the Norse Care contract, believing it to have been both deficient and totally inadequate. Any successor council will have a big decision to make in terms of the range and scale of its future care commitments, and ideally they should have the opportunity to make an informed choice about the type of care provision that is made to their local residents. I actually feel that the new administration has been put in a somewhat invidious position with the Norse Care contract and may consider that a further pause at this stage might be in their interests. It's important that something of this magnitude is not rushed and a period of reflection allows for a full understanding of all the issues involved, and that's probably the most appropriate course. One thing I would have to take issue with in Councillor Kemp's motion, and this is part of my amendment, is the third recommendation concerning writing to the Secretary of State to seek dispensation from relevant competition rules. I just can't see that the government would give Norfolk that preferential treatment and sanction such a move. So my amendment suggests removing that particular clause. So as things stand, the contract with Norse has been extended and is now in place until the end of July. Time is short and the parameters under which the sale agreement is being conducted very tightly controlled for obvious reasons. But if this deal does eventually go ahead, it has to provide value for money for the council and make sense on financial grounds. I accept that it is not ideal to seek a longer pause. Decisions have to be made eventually, however difficult. What's more, we can't ignore the impact that such a move would have on the residents themselves. There are real life issues involved, and many residents have already expressed a great deal of uncertainty and distress. However, it can also be argued that a pause could better ensure that stronger safeguards are put in place by the council. There clearly needs to be a binding guarantee with any provider that residents can remain in their homes and not just an expectation. I think that without those strengthened guarantees, it will be much harder for the council to support its sufficiency duty under the Care Act. So you have the full Liberal Democrat amendment before you on the screen, I believe, and I would urge fellow councillors to support it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Have you got a seconder? Thank you. Would you like to speak now?
No, I'll reserve my right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then we need to ask Alexandra if she would accept.
Mr.
Do you accept that?
Oh.
I will accept the amendment because it is more of a detail that the two changes are that we wouldn't be writing to the Secretary of State for dispensation. Now, the point behind that is, and of course we could do that anyway, is that there may be competition rules to stopping a council investing in its services which are social care rather than health. However, I see there'd be no reason if later on we didn't write to the government and say we would like to do that. So I'm prepared, you know, to accept this. But I also think that it's quite good to be saying that we have timelines for this. I think there's a 3-month timeline for the condition reports and 6 months for a decision. And as I say, we just need to vote something through to pause this sale, to find out the facts and find out how we could keep this in. So I would like to accept that motion and to subsume that so that it now becomes a substantive, so that we get some change. Normally I'm pernickety for detail, as I think the monitoring officer knows, but it's the broad picture of moving this forward and saying we're going to do something for our most vulnerable residents, because it is causing them worry, and the way that Berman House was closed by the last administration was absolutely shameful. People were told without any consultation at all, and there's been no consultation for this, and it's not the way to treat people. So I will accept that in the interest of moving this motion forward, so that now becomes a substantive motion open to debate, I think. Thank you, Chair, for your indulgence.
Thank you, Councillor. I've got a couple of speakers already. Councillor Smith, thank you.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes, thank you, Chair. So I would just like to reiterate the points that have been made by fellow councillors. I support this motion and would firstly like to recognise the dedication and skill of the Norse Care staff. So when visiting Mayflower Court in Bowthorpe, I've seen their hard work and always been met with friendly faces. They have built this service upon delivering good and often outstanding care, and that should be a foundation that we only build upon and not tear down. Having looked at the Cabinet report, what stands out is that the proposal is driven by sufficiency and value for money, but not by a clear commitment to keeping care in public hands. As Greens, we believe that care is a public good and not a market commodity. The Council has a duty not just to purchase care, but actually to shape it and to ensure dignity, stability and fairness for residents and their families. And therefore, I would like to raise a few concerns. So the reality behind the so-called guarantee for residents, the report says that residents can remain, but the details tell a different story. The commitments from the preferred buyer are tied to local authority-funded residents with council set fee levels. and ongoing contractual arrangements still subject to due diligence. So for those residents who are self-funders, the report is explicit that further work is needed. So there's not yet a clear and universal long-term guarantee for all of the residents in the care homes, and even when these commitments are made, they are conditional and not an absolute right for people to remain in their homes. For older people, particularly those with dementia, that uncertainty matters to them and their families. I've seen it myself with my mother and my grandmother, who was uprooted from a care home she was in due to financial reasons. Secondly, the Council's own analysis highlights the risk of the approach. The report has acknowledged that the Norse Care block contracts have had an impact on the dynamics of the local care market, and moving away from that could carry risk. So we're not really moving from stability into certainty. We're moving from a system that we have shaped to one that we hope the market will provide. This isn't really resilience, but just a bit of a gamble with the provision of our care for our residents. Third, the timing of this decision is obviously very questionable. There are some key elements that are unresolved, including the impact on residents, the full detail of the investment plans, and the outcome of the procurement process. Yet we are still pressing ahead with a major structural change. And we're all doing this alongside the fact that the council itself is going to be under local government reorganisation and abolished. So the report claims there are no implications, but clearly this isn't true. We're making long-term decisions about assets, contracts and the care market that future unitary authorities, including maybe some of us, will inherit, and this isn't responsible governance. And fourth, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but the report commits to consulting residents and families, but I haven't found clear evidence that Norse Care staff were meaningfully consulted. I think that's a very important and vital part of the process. These are the people who deliver the care to residents every single day. They know the realities on the ground, and yeah, their continuity is essential to ensure that the residents' well-being is at the forefront. So to proceed without any clear staff engagement is not only unfair, it risks undermining the very quality of care that we say that we want to protect. Residents and families have been very clear. They want investment. They don't want sell-off. This council has the ability and the responsibility to keep care rooted in public accountability. Thank you.
Well done, Andy.
Cllr Webb.
Got that all in. Well done.
Cllr Webb.
Thank you, Chair. I mean, I would obviously echo everything that Amber has just said. Councillor Amber Smith has just said. It was brilliantly put. I want to speak in support of the motion and the amendment to the motion.
Webb, Green Party, Division Town,
last year, we, as a group, we had a call-in on the decision initially, which unfortunately didn't go through. So we have tried on many occasions to relook at this decision, and I'm really glad that Councillor Kemp has brought it back again. The amendment by the Liberal Democrats to conduct condition surveys and publish within a time frame is an excellent addition. And you know, the budget amendment that I brought with our group in February contained some of these suggestions, which again we didn't get through. So I really hope that the new administration can actually now support this decision being re-looked at with the conditions attached to this amendment. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Colwell.
Well, thank you, Chair. I don't mind if any of the other reform councillors want to speak before me. I'm happy to wait. But if no, okay. Well, speaking from a Liberal Democrat perspective, we support this motion as amended because it does, as we've heard, put vulnerable older people in Norfolk and the stability of their care at the centre of what this council does.
Liberal Democrat.
And as Councillor Smith quite rightly states, we have to recognise at first the dedication of the Norse Care staff. They work in really highly demanding circumstances, and they're delivering care across our county care homes, and their commitment to the residents, particularly those living with dementia, and maintaining high standards, they actually deserve genuine tribute from all sides of this chamber. However, we also have to be honest about where things have gone wrong. It is deeply regrettable that decisions taken under the previous administration led to the closure of care homes that were rated good, as Councillor Kemp has said, by the Care Quality Commission, including Berman House in West Norfolk. We have heard directly from residents, families and carers about the distress and the uncertainty that followed those closures. That should never be dismissed as an unavoidable consequence of restructuring. It's a human impact that this council must and should take seriously. We're also concerned about the previous administration in principle approach to disposing of the care home estate, including the disposal to sell off to this overseas owned provider. That approach risks reducing local accountability. And what it does is it weakens confidence in the provision and potentially, what we're all scared of, driving up the fees over time.
Well, it will.
And placing even more pressure on families and unpaid carers. And just narrowing the market choice available to the local community. So this council actually has a really clear statutory responsibility to shape the local care market, to ensure sufficiency and sustainability of provision. And to act as a provider of last resort. Those duties are not abstract. They are about whether people in Norfolk can access dignified, reliable care when they need it most. So we also recognise that, in line with the Treasury local partnership guidance, that when a council owns a company like Norse Care, it has a responsibility to set strategic direction and actually ensure that the asset base is properly invested in. The evidence suggests that under the previous administration, sufficient modernisation of the estate did not take place. And that is a failure of stewardship, not of staff. So across Norfolk, residents are telling us that they clearly want investment in council-run care homes, not divestment. They want stability, transparency and long-term planning. And for that reason, we support the resolution, we support the motion to pause the sell-off, reconsider the transfer of freehold assets within that defined time frame, and to commission proper condition surveys and bring forward credibility. So we support willingness, and it's about taking back control, something that the Reform members might like here, that matters profoundly, taking back control of public assets that are used in public interest. Thank you.
Councillor Billing. Thank you.
Very clever.
My name's Mason-Billig, actually. There we go.
Mason-Billig, sorry.
Right, let's address a couple of things that have been said in this chamber which are quite clearly not true. Timing. Norths don't have the money to refurbish all those care homes. That's the reason we find ourselves in this situation. They did start to refurbish them, and then we got COVID in the way and all sorts of other stuff, and they simply ran out of money. They're coming out of the care market. They have made that decision. They are an independent limited company. So we have no choice but to do something. We can't sit on our hands and do nothing. So going around this again, when we have had it through full council, through cabinet and through scrutiny, is only wasting time and is going to be to the detriment of those homes and, more importantly, to the residents and the staff in them. This decision that was taken by the previous administration was designed to ensure that those care homes can stay open, that the residents could stay in them, and that the staff contracts could be protected, at the same time as bringing in a provider with a good track record who would have the money to refurbish them. So to turn around and say that only councils can run good care homes is wrong. We had an example recently where Swallowtail in Acle, which is a Norse-run care home, or was found wanting by the CQC, and we had to step in with a different provider. Now, a lot of Norse care homes are very good, and there is one outstanding one. But the provider that we were looking at, all of their homes are good or outstanding. I don't believe in the political left-wing dogma that says that only councils can run decent care homes. That's not true. The market is robust enough not to actually have Norfolk County Council owning all these care homes. And in a utopian world where the magic money tree blossoms and leaves of 20-quid notes fall gently to the ground every autumn, it might be possible for us to refurbish those care homes ourselves. But we've heard from Reform here today that they are well informed. They are well informed on political assistance, and they want to save money. If you write this blank cheque, and that's what it is, we're looking at least 80 million quid. The debt that you are also scathing of goes up even further. So we've got to do something. Protecting those people, protecting the care homes, protecting the staff is the core thing here. But we have a block contract at the moment with Norse Care, and a lot of those beds are empty because people don't choose to go in those homes because they're not up to what people would consider modern standards. So we had no choice but to do this, and if you unwind this now, you will cost this council dearly, and you will cost those residents and staff dearly too.
Thank you, Councillor.
Now, she makes a good point as well, actually.
Councillor Kemp, would you like to say a few words?
Wrap this up, thank you. And I would take issue with what Councillor Billig had said. This 80 million figure that was come up with belatedly by the previous administration was brought together with no costings at all. And it certainly, and then it was said it was about refurbishing or rebuilding everything. We don't need to rebuild everything. Some of the homes have in fact been modernised, so it's not going to be anything like 80 million. Being in mind we're going to have to, the other councils are going to have to spend 50 million. The residents of Norfolk said they'd rather put the money into care homes rather than to LGR. But also, I would take issue with her saying that outstanding care homes, there are in fact 5 outstanding Norse care homes rather than just 1. I think that's really important to appreciate how important they are, and that we would lose control. We would lose control, the accountability and scrutiny if we were to sell them to an overseas company. We couldn't guarantee their future. If a company is sold under transfer of undertaking, the staff even after a year can have their contracts changed, and we would not be able to guarantee that these homes would stay open. Some parts of the county might miss out. We've got a group here called Great Yarmouth First, but we could not guarantee that Great Yarmouth would be first anymore if it lost its care homes, neither North Norfolk or West Norfolk, where we have a lot of older people because we're a county of older people. And in coming years, the coming decade, we're going to have a doubling of over 85s, and that inevitably will mean that people will have dementia and need to be in care homes. So this is the stock in trade of this council, these care homes, and we must make sure that we do keep them in control. We mustn't leave self-funders stranded, because as Councillor Smith has said, the agreement does not protect them, and there are many self-funders, and it would destabilise the care market, which we have a statutory duty to shape. Not enough work has been done on this, and I urge Council to vote in favour of this motion. I thank Councillor Weston, Councillor Smith and Councillor Colwell and Councillor Webb and everybody who's contributed to this, but we do need to bear in mind that this is our responsibility, and if we let those care homes go, we will never be able to get them back, and we will be accountable to the residents and their families for putting more pressure on them if they lose the great asset that we've got. Please vote for this motion. Thank you.
But if Norse is coming out,
we will now go to the vote.
Oh, how's this going to swing? Oh, I don't know. If I was there, I wouldn't know how to vote on this one now, hearing what Kay had to say, with Norse wanting to come out, because so they're going to have to put a different...
Okay. For 24, abstentions none, against 52. Thank you. Motion is lost.
Which means... What does that mean? So if it's lost...
We will now deal with the remaining motions in group order, starting with motion 1. I invite the proposer of first motion, Councillor Nick Taylor, to propose the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The context of this motion is a local authority that runs a deficit every year, that has a debt of over £900 million. It is nearing the limit to how much it can borrow in the future, and which is forced to make considerable savings every year in order to produce a balanced budget. Burdened by the additional costs of increases in minimum wage and the demand for SEND and adult social care services that have all risen at a considerably higher rate than the paltry 3.6% increase in government grant funding. With this perilous financial inheritance, this administration intends to do a full review of all net zero spending to ascertain which programmes are essential and which are not, to fulfil the Council's primary and overarching mission, which is to provide best value. The review will identify which projects are funded by central government grants and which are funded from Norfolk County budgets. The review will look at 4 main areas. 1. Replacement of heating systems across the property estate. 2. Replacement of petrol and diesel vehicles within council fleets. 3. Ensuring that the awarding of contracts be done on the basis of best value, with net zero compliance being a desirable but secondary consideration.
You want to save money, but you want to
This will open up
spend on
competition
electric vehicles.
and allow more opportunity for smaller Norfolk-based providers. 4. The activities of the council staff working towards net zero targets embedded across the council's various departments. Delivering best value is a legal requirement under the 1999 Local Government Act. Delivering net zero by 2030 across the council estate and the council's operations is not a legal requirement. The council's priorities should therefore and will be reordered to reflect this. Decisions regarding replacement programmes will in future be made on a business case rather than to meet a nebulous target.
Thank you, Councillor. Have you a seconder? Thank you. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'd like to reserve my right to speak towards the end.
Thank you very much. So far we've got Councillor Price would like to speak.
Thank you, Chair. On the surface, this reform motion dresses itself up in the language of fiscal prudence, asking for a spending review. But let's be entirely precise about what this actually is. It is an ideologically driven attempt to roll back the progress that has earned Norfolk national recognition. The suggestion that our climate-related expenditure lacks professional costing is a direct insult to the meticulous work of our Section 151 officer and our council's professional teams. Our climate decisions are not symbolic. They are pragmatic, legally sound, and carefully balanced within our wider performance framework. In fact, our officers have already been demonstrating the highest standard of fiscal prudence. Look at the Future Ready Buildings programme. When central government abruptly ended the Silex decarbonisation scheme funding following its June 2025 spending review, our corporate property team immediately placed those specific freehold works on hold. Our staff did not push forward blindly with unfunded mandates. They acted responsibly, managing our capital pipeline strictly within our budgetary boundaries. While we must lament that central government inconsistency is actively holding back net zero infrastructure, we must celebrate that Norfolk's officers are already managing budgets with absolute professionalism. We must ask ourselves, whose interests does this motion truly serve? The broader public should note that Reform UK's wider national agenda is heavily bankrolled by fossil fuel investors and climate change deniers. They're trying to turn Norfolk County Council into the political arm of the fossil fuel lobby. They want us to abandon our clean energy independence and force our residents to rely on volatile, imported oil and gas. And let us look closely at where their allies on the extreme right, including Restore Britain councillors sitting in Great Yarmouth, choose to align. They rail against green investments, completely blind to the fact that our net zero strategy is deliberately injecting wealth into one of the most structurally under-deprived areas of Norfolk. Our 24.8 million operations and maintenance campus in Great Yarmouth is unlocking 650 long-term skilled local roles, with RWE recruiting the first 200 workers this very year. Our climate policies are actively delivering levelling up capital to coastal working class communities that old industry giants abandoned decades ago. The right-wing narrative insists that we must drill the North Sea to lower family bills. This is a provably false story. A groundbreaking March 2026 study from the University of Oxford completely disarms this delusion. The Oxford data proves that the drill baby drill approach to squeezing the remaining finite resources out of the North Sea would yield a pathetic savings of £16 to £82 a year per household. And that is only if the government choose to directly redistribute fossil fuel tax takes to families. Without that unlikely redistribution, there is zero benefit to consumers because fossil prices are entirely dictated by volatile international markets. In stark contrast, the Oxford analysis demonstrates that continuing down our path of clean energy and full electrification would massively dwarf those figures, delivering recurring annual reductions of up to £441 per household. Net zero is not an economic burden. It is a long-term investment that protects the wider public, builds future job security, and directly safeguards low-income families from predatory pricing structures. By shifting our grid to clean energy, we establish a sovereign nation that is completely independent, insulated from international shocks, and no longer reliant on expensive foreign fuel imports. Let us stand with the taxpayers of Norfolk, our local businesses, and the next generation. Let us reject this short-sighted attempt to betray our residents for the benefit of oil and gas donors, and vote overwhelmingly against this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Cllr Weston.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, Norfolk taxpayers expect value for money and strict financial discipline. And on that basis, I have no objection at all to climate-related spending being tested against any clear evidence. But that is precisely why I cannot support this motion. If this motion was really about value for money, it would start from the evidence that we already have available. This council already publishes environmental data through its emissions dashboard, and separate council reports have already shown that major climate-related projects have delivered real financial savings for Norfolk taxpayers. The streetlight LED upgrade is a great example. It saved this council nearly £26 million of taxpayers' money by reducing energy use. It cut carbon emissions by 30,000 tonnes. That is not symbolic, to use the words of the motion. That is practical and evidence-based. So the question is not whether climate spending should be scrutinised. Of course it should. The question is whether we are going to scrutinise it honestly and not use it as a smokescreen to dismantle good, sensible policy. A massive portion of the money for the Council's climate initiatives, that £83 million package, comes from central government grants for net zero schemes. If we don't apply, we don't get the money. It cannot be legally reallocated to fill potholes or bolster social care. It's just money that vanishes from our balance sheet. But what doesn't vanish is the infrastructure. The dated boilers in our buildings are reaching end of life, and when they inevitably break down, if we scrap these climate initiatives, Norfolk taxpayers will foot 100% of the bill. Why? Because the grants are predicated on this council following its 2030 net zero plan. No plan, no grants. No grants, no relief for Norfolk taxpayers. This is not fiscal discipline, this is a false economy. Climate policy is not separate from frontline services either. Clean electric buses mean cleaner air, fewer lung conditions and less strain on the NHS. More efficient buildings mean lower running costs and more money for vital frontline services like adult social care. Chair, the danger with this motion is that it dresses up a political suspicion of climate action as a value for money exercise. But the evidence shows that well-designed climate investment saves money, protects public assets and delivers practical benefits for Norfolk residents. As a Labour councillor, I stand for economically literate leadership, value for money and protecting our environment. And on that basis, I urge the Chamber to reject this motion.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Varley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, I think everyone in this chamber would agree that scrutiny on projects and survey costings across the council should be undertaken. That is so important for value for money, and Cabinet members already have that ability to review spending. The Reform UK motion speaks about the cost of net zero spending, but I ask members, what is the cost of doing nothing? What does that mean for our natural environment and our communities?
Mate, you need to speak.
Those who are affected by flooding, coastal erosion threatening their homes, poor air quality affecting public health, and so on. We must focus on this and do everything we can alongside central government. Net zero is essentially a means of being a solution to tackling climate change.
Yeah, well, while we've got the war going on in the east,
many households across Norfolk are struggling with the cost of
net
living
zero
crisis
is a laugh
and
at the
fuel
moment.
poverty. Councils across Norfolk have supported these residents with grants through the Norfolk Warm Homes scheme to have insulation, solar panels and air source heat pumps. This gives that much needed support to families who otherwise could not afford these improvements. That means cooler homes in the summer, warmer homes in the winter, lower energy bills. Now, I don't consider that symbolic or ideological. Do you? Councils must continue providing practical support for residents who need it most. I don't also consider it symbolic or ideological to support those who are put in danger by severe flooding or coastal erosion. Do you? Now, there was actually a question raised on costings for the environmental policy and net zero spending. This was brought more recently to the March Cabinet meeting, and I won't read the minutes because I'm sure you're already up to speed on this, but officers did explain that many of the elements within the strategy aligned with the Council's statutory duties and were therefore incorporated into the Council's budget. So that means it's across varying departments and services within the Council. They also explained that they secure significant external funding, which is fantastic, and they would be bringing back a fully costed delivery plan to the committee. Now, this level of scrutiny must be delivered across all project areas and services. Mr. Chairman, I think I'm going to finish it on this last note, but I do think this motion, frankly, misunderstands not just climate change and net zero, but also local government. Thank you.
Oh, you just got in there.
Councillor Elmer.
Just got in there.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I should have said earlier, congratulations on your election as well. I've had to rewrite my speech very quickly because Cllr Western stole an awful lot of the points I was about to make.
Did he now?
But my concern here is what happens once you've done the review. Once you've done your review and you've found one officer who does some carbon reporting and it doesn't generate the savings you want for the press release out of this, what do you do next? Where do you go to look for the money to get you that number for that press release? Will it be the tree planting scheme, because it happens to sequester some carbon at the same time? Will it be library retrofitting because you want to use less gas? As Cllr Weston said, will it be LED street lighting, which is saving us a lot of money on an ongoing basis? Or as Cllr Varley said, will it be the Norfolk Warms Homes scheme that puts air source heat pumps into old ladies' rural houses? Is your ideological commitment to opposing the words net zero sufficient that you would leave people in rural communities cold in the winter? Now, maybe it isn't. I'm not particularly sure I want to take that risk, though. So on that basis, I will be voting against this motion.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Davis.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I've rewritten my speech slightly as well because many of the points have been covered. But just to reiterate, the wording of the motion just suggests that net zero and climate-related initiatives are somehow ideological and not grounded in factual evidence of the value of reducing carbon emissions for Norfolk's population, residents and future well-being. Let's reiterate again, there are many multiple benefits of reducing carbon emissions, from reducing energy use, and of course that's vital at the present time, and therefore energy costs, to enhancing the living conditions of our residents. I would therefore expect any review to take into account a wide range of multiple benefits associated with initiatives to reduce our carbon emissions. In responding to the motion, though, let's face the facts. The increase of greenhouse gases means more trapped heat, loading the atmosphere with more moisture. It drives warmer, wetter winters and hotter, drier summers, and it supercharges extremes, storms and downpours, and heat waves that persist for longer. Let's just look at some of the facts here. By 2050, 1 in 4 properties 8 million in England will be at risk of flooding, including many people in Norfolk. As a former emergency planning manager at Great Yarmouth Borough Council, I have direct experience of the impact of climate change on Norfolk's vulnerable coastline and those residents living there. There have been at least 3 near misses in Great Yarmouth in 2007, 2013 and 2017 when tidal surges nearly overtopped flood defences. Climate change due to increased carbon emissions increases the frequency and magnitude of those tidal surges. They'll only become more severe. Norfolk County Council's partnership working, investment in flood defences, emergency planning, community resilience, saves lives, protects property and our economy. Heat waves in Europe are intensifying faster than anywhere in the world and much faster than climate models predict. Just reflect on the last few days when this Monday, the 25th of May, the UK recorded its hottest May day since Met Office data began to be collected.
And there's been 8
and it's still spring, it's not summer.
12 months.
So amber heat health alerts have been issued by the UK Health Security Agency for the East. Amber alerts mean that there is a significant impact across health and social care services, with children and those aged over 65 at risk of negative health implications. Looking around, that covers quite a few of us here. The demands on Norfolk County Council adults and children's services will only increase with climate impacts on our citizens. Therefore, we need to ensure we do not add to greenhouse gas emissions that will exacerbate extreme conditions. Until we stop burning fossil fuels, extreme weather will continue to get worse. We know these facts. We have a Climate Change Act which requires us to take action to reduce our emissions and adapt to climate change.
Thank you, Councillor.
We cannot plead ignorance if we do not take action, and I will vote against this motion.
Councillor Mason-Billig.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to thank those councillors who have spoken for the endorsement from across the chamber for the previous administration's good stewardship of our environment and sensible policies which not only respect our beautiful county but also save money. So I'm at a bit of a loss to understand why this motion's been brought today, but perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. We've seen other councils with reform councillors talking about net zero, and it seems to be an edict from their master, Nigel Farage. So they're doing what they've been asked to do, when it's actually a bit pointless in this case. I'm convinced that none of the Reform Council councillors have bothered to read the Norfolk County Council environmental policy, because if they had, which was only put in place in March this year, incidentally, they'd know that net zero doesn't feature in it at all. They are not words that we use. They'd also discover that our policy is not to rip out and replace perfectly serviceable plants and machinery like heating boilers. We don't have ideological dogma, and we don't waste taxpayers' money. The policy this council has been pursuing for many years is that when something comes to the end of its natural shelf life, we look to replace it with whatever is the most efficient and cost-effective method. So if that's replacing a diesel vehicle with an electric one because it's cheaper to hire, and we don't buy these things, we tend to lease them, and because it's cheaper to run, then that's what we do. It's not ideology, it's common sense. So entirely sensible measures that have taken place have also been solar panels on buildings where possible, replacing the light bulbs with LEDs, and lots of other perfectly reasonable, sensible methods that any person in the street would tell you was the sort of things they're doing in their own homes. We're recognised for our environmental credentials, and we don't pander to net zero. And what we do oppose, and what I would have liked to have preferred this administration to pursue, would be objecting to pylons across our county and solar farm factories, which is a net zero Ed Miliband madness, because he doesn't care about Norfolk. They put this electricity through us. We don't get any benefit from it. So there's something you should be aiming at in terms of looking after the environment. So basically there's nothing to see here. This is a motion for a headline without any real substance behind it, and which will have absolutely no impact on the council, as Councillor Elmer has suggested, unless you want to unwind all the good stuff that the previous administration did, because this is actually yesterday's news.
Thank you. Councillor Colwell.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank the Reform councillors actually for not sneering and jeering like the first half. They've obviously had words spoken to them, but they are allowed to speak, so you just put your hand up. We will not be supporting this motion, not because Liberal Democrats oppose value for money, quite the opposite. Every pound of taxpayers' money should deliver real benefits for Norfolk residents. But this motion creates a false choice between good public services and tackling climate change, when in reality they go hand in hand. The truth is that climate action is not some symbolic exercise. It's about warmer homes, lower energy bills, cleaner air, flood protection, and more secure local jobs. In Norfolk, we already see the consequences of climate change through coastal erosion, flooding, pressures on agriculture and extreme weather, as have all been commented on already in this chamber. And ignoring those costs will not save money. It will simply pass a far larger bill onto future taxpayers and your children. Now, of course, spending should always be scrutinised. This council already has budget oversight, business case, audit processes, performance reviews, and in the March meeting of the infrastructure and development, we actually agreed to do this. And you might have known that if you had a political assistant, but launching a politically motivated review of anything labelled net zero risks creating more bureaucracy while undermining long-term investment that actually saves money. Many climate-related projects are already delivering these measurable values. Energy efficiency in council buildings, cuts running costs, better public transport, reduces congestion, flood resilience, protects homes and businesses from expensive damage. Renewable energy can shield taxpayers from volatile energy prices, and those are the practical outcomes, not ideological gestures. Liberal Democrats believe in evidence-led policymaking, and the evidence is clear. Investing sensibly now to reduce emissions and improving resilience is cheaper than paying the cost of inaction later. So rather than chasing headlines or turning climate policy into a culture war, this council should stay focused on what matters: competent financial management, protecting our environment and building a safer, more sustainable future for Norfolk's residents. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Henson.
Not bad.
First of all, can I say congratulations on your appointment? As a transport worker for the last 30 years in the industry, I've also qualified in CPC training and the ADI training, which basically is chemical goods transported around the country. These things go hand in hand when it comes to climate change. Transport is vital. Lorries get our goods to the shops, they get everything to your petrol pumps. People put lorry driving and obviously lorry deliveries at the lowest end of any report. They prefer to look at buses and, we must have more electric buses. What people don't realise with electric vehicles, they are not cost effective. They are dangerous as well. The battery systems that these vehicles use generally overheat, and when they do overheat, can catch fire, and the only method of putting these fires out is with certain chemicals, and those chemicals have to be transported by lorries. Amazing. But the fact is that the pollution that comes off of one of those fires is more detrimental in the long run. Now, HGVs are now being brought over to electric vehicles. I had the lovely privilege of driving one literally on the hottest day of the year myself. Unfortunately, the temperature reading in the cab was over 45 degrees, and that was just on the battery system. If that had got any hotter, that battery system could have ignited, and you would have had an out-of-control fire. And if you're in somewhere in the countryside, or if you're on a road that isn't supported by a fire brigade that can arrive there in such a short space of time, then you're going to see a black plume of smoke for miles and miles and miles that carries more chemicals than a standard diesel engine vehicle. These batteries, when catch fire, can actually melt through tarmac straight the way down to the hardcore. So when it comes to climate change and people worrying about getting into electric vehicles, before we do this, we need to learn to walk before we run. That means stop running ahead, putting these vehicles that are not safe on the road, not fully tested on the road, and keep going with normal vehicles until a practical version is in place.
Well, take a look at Japan.
Thank you, Councillor.
Look at Japan with their
Councillor
electric
Butler.
cars. Damn sight better, safer than.
Thank you. It's very
American.
clear that a number of the members
for
here
sure.
are very good public speakers and have beautiful speeches.
Okay,
And
Butler.
what we really do need to, I think, focus on here, and I don't have a prepared speech, is what the actual motion
Butler.
actually says, as opposed to all of the rest of the emotive language
and
and also some of the science that people have discussed. The
Reform your
motion
planning.
is not contentious. All it says is that we'll conduct a review of all current council spending linked to net zero and climate-related initiatives. What's wrong with that? Publish a report setting out the total projected cost of these initiatives over the next 5 years. What's wrong with that? Ensure that future climate-related expenditure demonstrates
Because that's
measurable
wasteful
benefit to
money.
Norfolk residents and clear value for money before
They're
approval.
coming in and they're changing it
So
all.
I don't see what the big issue is. We can have disagreements about the travel of direction and the contribution of carbon and the heating of the atmosphere. I think we all want clear air. I think we all want stable energy. I think we all want things that are affordable, but we want a country that actually works. And most importantly, it needs to work for Norfolk residents first, okay, and then some of these other initiatives. And yes, if there's grant money, we must apply for it. No one's got a problem with that. But in my role in the Cabinet, I will not be following ideology, contrary to what some of you say about the Leader of Reform. What we're looking for is value for money in the context of competing priorities that the Council has. And politics is about trying to get the art of the impossible. Okay? It's about balancing priorities, whether that's climate change or whether that's spending on essential services. So as far as I'm concerned, the rest of the flowery speeches, emotive and great as they are, is not really related to this motion. This motion is not contentious, and I commend it to you.
I'm guessing that's the other 39 reformers.
Councillor Ringer next.
Thank you very much.
So yes,
At the very start, the proposer of the motion, Councillor Taylor,
Wonderful
gave
tash there.
a list of
Wonderful
areas
tash.
where costs had increased. But I noted the omission of the cost increase and fuel
Hey,
and
Ringer.
energy from that list. And I just wondered whether that was an oversight or an omission of something that's
Callum
perhaps a
Ringer.
little inconvenient in the
Birmingham,
context of this
Liberal
motion.
Democrat.
Now, I won't go over some of the good points made already by other members, but if the new administration is looking to fix a £900 million odd deficit through harvesting ideological and symbolic low-hanging fruit, then I'm afraid they'll probably find a drought and that harvest will fail. I'm afraid this motion has everything to do with grabbing headlines and nothing to do with grabbing back cash, and I'll be opposing this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Weston, you've spoken once. Are you going to speak slightly? Can you speak again?
Mr Chairman, can I move a procedural motion to put this to the House or the Council even?
The Council
Thank you,
believes that
Mr Chairman.
taxpayers expect the County Council to
Have you a
prioritise
seconder?
for frontline services, value for money and evidence-based decisions making of symbolic or ideological initiatives.
Can we have a show of hands for this, please?
To bring it to,
a vote.
Bring it to a vote.
Bring it to an end.
It's a show of hands to take this matter now straight to the vote.
Okay, that's carried.
So conduct a review of all current council spending linked to net zero and climate-related initiatives. Publish a report setting out the total project cost of these initiatives over the next 5 years.
Would the
Ensure that
mover of the motion like to sum up, please?
Climate-related expenditure demonstrates measurable benefit to Norfolk residents and clear value for money before.
We haven't heard from the seconder yet, but is that a procedural
I did reserve the right to speak later. But
Okay.
Councillor Kher reserved the right to speak at a later time.
Okay. Councillor Kher.
thank you, Chairman, and congratulations on your appointment. The UK is less than 0.7% of global CO2 emissions, so we can't change the weather in Hemsby or Haysborough with these policies. The electrification of heating systems and vehicles is hugely expensive. There may be grants from central government, but those grants are paid for by local taxpayers too. Commercial EV fleets tend to cost up to 50% more than their diesel equivalents. And commercial vehicles with a small range tend to use fast charging frequently, especially in rural places like Norfolk. and it's far more expensive than diesel or petrol, even at today's elevated prices, and swallows any potential cost savings. Installing air source heat pumps in a commercial building can cost up to 3 times the cost of a gas heating system. That's before you even consider the need for upgraded electrical supply and building modifications. The cost of these electrification must now be justified. For those who say there are benefits of doing so, it's time to see the evidence. The Council is facing severe funding pressures, as has been said many times today. We're navigating a 41 million budget gap for this year, 170 million over the next 4 years. Financial markets are demanding higher rates, making new borrowing much more expensive. The core point this Council needs to grasp is that the age of cheap money is over. This enormous can of debt has been kicked down the road for 25 years, and today it is simply too big to kick. It is no longer a can, it is a keg. Inflation, demographic pressures, and a lack of clarity around future funding means we must make difficult decisions in this place to ensure we can continue to deliver the vital services we have a statutory duty to provide. That's our first duty. We are living in a new financial reality, and therefore aggressive, non-statutory and potentially non-beneficial carbon projects are fundamentally incompatible with this Council's fiscal reality. This debate hinges on statutory duties versus discretionary policies. In other words, needs versus wants. We have no choice but to ensure this Council continues to deliver vital services into the future. The people of Norfolk need it, they demand it, and they deserve it. We must choose a healthy financial future for our constituents. That means intense scrutiny over every penny this Council spends. Every investment must be able to prove a real and tangible benefit to the people of Norfolk. That process starts with the full publication of all net zero related expenditure. I suspect the evidence will show there is little tangible or measurable benefit, but if there is, let's see it. If the business case for these projects is so compelling, then all councillors should be in favour of its publication. What are you afraid of? Spending millions on unnecessary capital replacement whilst cutting care provision for vulnerable adults or children creates an indefensible political contrast that is not sustainable, regardless of the colour of your rosette.
Councillor Taylor.
Chair.
If you could keep it short.
Chair, could I have a point of order,
Yeah, thank you,
please?
Chairman.
Point of order, Chair. It's a bit late because the Speaker's already spoken, but could I ask from the monitoring officer, I seem to recall that when a motion, we get a vote to go to the vote from the floor, the person who seconded and reserved that right to speak later loses that right to speak.
Generally, it is only the mover of the original motion who has a right to speak. However, it is a matter for the Chair and at their discretion in respect to speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I haven't spoken to Nigel Farage about this motion, subject to what some people might think. I'm going to pick up on a few other comments made very eloquently. I'm not sure which is worse, whether it's some councillors clapping or shouting out during session, or whether it's snide, disrespectful comments from others. The truth is, neither are acceptable in this chamber. We've made no suggestion that the council officers have not proceeded in an efficient and professional way with net zero initiatives, which has been suggested. We're not opposed to renewals. This is not a debate between fossil fuels and renewables. LED street lighting has been very successfully rolled out and has saved a lot of money. We've made no suggestion that we should do any of that. We've made no suggestion that we should not unsafe. Cut our nose off to spite our face and not take government funding
one of the councils
for renewable projects such as
and having to change their lights.
And someone mentioned fuel poverty. Fuel poverty overwhelmingly is due to the enormous amount of tax and levies that central government take out of our energy, and it is also caused by an extremely dysfunctional energy policy by every government since Nick Clegg said in 2012 that it would take too long to build a new nuclear power station.
Yeah, well, Nick Clegg sold himself out, didn't he?
40 members of this council were elected on a mandate to deliver better value for money for local taxpayers,
Prime Minister.
and that is exactly what we intend to do. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to the vote. Councillor Webb.
Chair, can I ask to vote to extend the meeting, please? When either after this or whenever.
Why?
Yeah, we'll finalise that in a moment. Okay.
I need a pen.
Okay. For 46, abstentions, none, against 30.
46.
Motion is carried. Thank you.
So they're going to do it.
Okay.
Sorry, not 2 hours. 2. 4 minutes past 2.
Okay. Okay.
And so, if the council wants to put forward a motion to extend the meeting, then she will need a seconder. And then
So she's now advising him what to say and do because he's new.
scrap that and ask if they can do it on the system because it could be close. Okay. We do a procedure. Can we do it on the system, please? Yeah, we'll have a seconder in a minute.
Like I say, we have reform at the helm of County Council.
Thank you. This meeting's due to end at 14:02. Councillor Webb, you wish to propose it's extended? Have you got a seconder? Councillor Kemp, yeah.
Okay, and we'll put that to a vote on the system if you just let us get that up for a second.
There will be a vote on the system in a short while for that. Thank you.
Yes, please.
If it does, it depends on how longer it goes for, but I might have to go at that time and pick it up at a later time, but it's already been 2 hours 37 on my clock, and because I started an hour earlier, I've been able to forward quite a lot, and I'm still at 2 hours 37.
Okay, just remind everybody, please vote.
Okay, procedural motions. Oh, no, sorry, not yet. It's still coming.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. For 23, abstentions none, against 53. So this meeting will formally end at 14:02. Thank you.
Because reform don't want to spend a minute more
Motion
doing their
number
job.
2.
So we've got another 32 minutes.
Councillor David Thomas to propose the motion.
Thank you, Chair. Just over to your right. Congratulations on your election as Chairman today.
Thank you.
I'll be taking the motion as read and then reading a short statement, and I do have a second.
Well, we definitely know that that is a
Okay, thank you.
reform guy because he's congratulated them.
Afternoon, councillors. It's been a very interesting day so far,
And
hasn't
I've already
it?
made a mistake.
I want us to
No,
kind of
it's not.
understand
It's Liberal
what we're dealing
Democrat
with here in the
David
heating oil market.
Thomas, Division Reform.
Like some of you here, maybe, I rely on heating oil for my hot water and heating system, so I have a personal interest in this. And it's a worrying time. Nothing quite says modern Britain like me having to check international geopolitics before turning my heating on. In the UK today, over 1.5 million homes rely on heating oil. 500,000 of those are in Northern Ireland, 70,000 are in Norfolk. That's nearly 1 in 5 properties. and it's mostly rural based. There are very few refineries in the UK. Most heating oil is imported. This means prices are heavily influenced by global markets and international events, especially those presently unfolding in Iran and elsewhere right now. Residents in rural Norfolk are therefore apparently only one international incident away from reconsidering whether jumpers and blankets are a new lifestyle choice. Heating oil isn't presently regulated by Ofgem. It has no price cap. Consumers lack protections, no supplier of last resort, and not even a guaranteed supply obligations. There isn't currently any independent ombudsman or mandatory dispute resolution on offer. There isn't a legal requirement for energy efficiency advice. Gas and electricity consumers already have these protections, which is really reassuring for them. Prices can vary between customers and can even change on the same day. You don't find out the price until you contact suppliers, and heating oil consumers usually buy through local collectives or consortiums. It is perhaps the only major household expense where the pricing model still resembles buying carpets in the late 80s. Rural Norfolk is disproportionately affected. Then we have the other factor here, unlike almost any other domestic heating arrangement residents face, is theft. It's difficult to get exact figures because police currently log these incidents under generic property or fuel theft categories.
Yeah.
It's also believed to be heavily underreported. However, police and insurance companies around the UK have already reported a spike in the first few months of this year alone, and Norfolk Police do offer some very strong guidance on how to protect yourself from fuel theft. A theft can leave a household without heating or hot water, obviously a serious issue during colder periods of the year, which in Norfolk can occasionally occur sometime between September and June. The impact of theft includes financial loss, the cost of emergency replacement of the oil, the disruption to day-to-day life, school runs, work, or perhaps caring responsibilities, and most likely an increase in insurance premiums. This has a knock-on effect to local properties surrounding that area, and sometimes during the theft there is oil spillage as well, with the environmental impacts on top of that. As a council, we're representing a large rural county impacted by this current situation. I feel we have a real opportunity here today to show residents that we are with them and we will do all we can to support them in this current situation. I very kindly urge all councillors to support this motion and stand up and offer greater assistance for our residents who are hardest hit. I thank you all.
I like his beard.
Thank you. Have you a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Watkins. Do you wish to speak now or reserve your right?
Watkins is
I'll speak now, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I second this motion because behind the figures we debate today are real households making difficult, often invisible choices, cutting back and hoping costs don't rise again before their wages do.
Eton, Liberal Democrat.
That is exactly what is happening. From July, energy bills will rise by a further 13%, an extra £221 a year, taking the average bill to £1,862. That is driven by global instability and conflict, and suppliers are already warning that without resolution, costs could climb further into the winter.
The
average price of unleaded petrol has now hit 158.52p per litre, the highest since the start of the Iran conflict. For many families, that's not discretionary spending. That's the school run, the commute, daily life becoming steadily more expensive. This is the context in which we consider this motion. And what it recognises, rightly, is that hardship today is not confined to those in the most acute crisis. There is a growing group of households working, contributing, doing everything right, who are nonetheless being squeezed by rising costs from every direction. They may not meet strict thresholds, they may not ask for help, but they are struggling all the same. And that is why the approach set out here matters. It is about ensuring support reflects real-world costs, not rigid assumptions. It is about widening access so help reaches those just above the line, not only those already beyond it. And it is about being proactive, working with local partners to identify need early, rather than waiting for people to reach breaking point. Crucially, it also recognises our role as a council to anticipate, not just to respond, and to advocate for a fairer settlement that reflects the pressures our communities all face. Because if we are honest, the direction of travel is clear. Costs are rising, uncertainty remains, and without action, more residents will quietly slip into hardship. This motion asks us to refine what we are already doing, to target it better, and to ensure it reaches those who need it most before crisis sets in. Council, we cannot control global energy markets or international conflict, but we can control how we respond locally. And this motion sets out how we should. I commend it to you today. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe the Green Group have got an amendment to this. Councillor Price.
That's right, Chair. I'll move the amendment now.
Thank you.
Let me say from the outset, the Green Group entirely supports the core thrust of our colleagues' motion. We share the deep, urgent sympathy for the 17% of Norfolk households, 70,000 of our families, who live off-grid and are bearing the brutal brunt of this fuel crisis.
Vision is winsome.
The Liberal Democrats are entirely correct to point out that the administrative flaws in the current system. A flat £350 grant is a drop in the ocean when oil companies demand massive upfront payments for a single minimum delivery. The squeezed middle is real, and they are facing tough decisions and a great deal of stress with regards to heating homes in our rural divisions. But if we choose to only fund the purchase of more heating oil, we are simply subsidising a structural trap. As the motion notes, geopolitical instability in shipping routes like the Straits of Hormuz will keep fuel prices volatile for months to come. Giving a family a cash handout to buy fossil fuels means that next winter, when the oil burns away, they'll be right back to square one, trapped in the same loop, hoping for another payment. We must break this cycle of dependency on foreign fossil fuel imports. We must bridge the gap between short-term crisis management and long-term economic survival. And our amendment does exactly that by building directly onto the Liberal Democrat framework. Now let's look forensically at the funding itself. The central government explicitly replaced the old Household Support Fund with the new Crisis and Resilience Fund. Norfolk has been allocated £11.2 million for this financial year. The DWP's statutory guidelines are clear, yet under our current local structure, they are not being fully or properly utilised. The government has explicitly mandated that this money must not just be spent on emergency stopgaps. It must be used to build long-term household financial independence by helping families permanently reduce their essential living costs.
Like
our amendment brings this council into complete compliance with that national policy by expanding the scope of the fund to allow grants to be used as vouchers for micro-renewables, solar thermal panels, smart electric radiators and village-led insulation audits. We are giving families the tools to lower their base energy bills permanently. This is smarter governance. It protects our lowest income families, maximises our public capital and uses government funds exactly the way they were intended to be used. Let us upgrade this motion from a temporary plaster to a permanent shield. I urge you all to support this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Have you a seconder for your amendment?
Permanent shield.
Would you like to speak now or reserve your right?
I'd like to speak now, please.
Thank you.
So I would like to start by emphasising the excellent points made by Councillor Price. There is an urgent need to address fuel poverty, but there is also an urgent need to make sure we do so in a way that insulates residents from future shocks. Earlier this year, the Climate Change Committee found that the cost of just one fossil fuel price shock to the UK would be enough to cover the net cost of the transition away from fossil fuels, all the way through to 2050. We urgently need to use the tools provided at a local level, like the Crisis and Resilience Fund, to ensure residents are protected from those shocks. So I urge the members to support our amendment and to treat this as an opportunity to safeguard our future costs that we know are coming. We know that investing in improving the ECP rating of a home through better insulation is one of the most cost-effective ways to bring energy costs down, and government research shows this. In 2023, analysis on the Great British Insulation Scheme found that homes on average could save between £300 and £400 a year, if provided with better insulation. Again, I urge the members to support this amendment so that where appropriate, we consider insulation in addition to or instead of a one-off payment. This is the fiscally prudent approach, and I hope we seize this opportunity to meaningfully tackle fuel poverty in Norfolk in the long term. I would also urge the members to consider the costs and benefits of any potential retrofitting scheme holistically. We heard earlier from Reform that there will be an inquiry into some of these schemes. Although I was surprised that their motion on net zero spoke of evidence-based decision-making, yet I heard very, very little evidence. And the evidence that I heard was very questionable. I would suggest that when considering this, we don't think ideologically, and that we genuinely consider the local picture in Norfolk, which is nuanced, and where many of the residents that you personally represent are most exposed to these fuel shocks, as well as flooding and water shortages. And I would ask that in any cost-benefit analysis of retrofitting, they consider the medium and long-term outcomes. Because it is clear that in this case, when you do consider those medium and long-term outcomes, it makes sense for the county to invest. So I urge you all to support this amendment and use the Crisis and Resilience Fund as it was intended to be used to increase resilience. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thomas, do you accept
20
the amendment?
minutes left.
Thank you, Chair. My apologies to Councillor Price and Ludson, but I do not accept the
20
amendment.
minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, will you go to the debate?
Aye. Thank you, Clary.
Nobody wants to speak, then the mover of the original motion has a right to speak at the end of the amendment before we put it to the vote.
Okay, nobody wishes to speak on this? No. The proposer of the original
Not one reform.
motion, would you have a
Any
right
of
to
the
speak
40
again now?
sitting there? Nothing?
Thank you, Chairman. I don't think I have anything further to add. Again, just to please encourage councillors to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is amendment to the vote. So we're voting on the amendment.
We are voting on the amendment first.
Is the amendment down on the...
If everyone could please vote, it's up now.
So we're talking about £3.25 million.
Okay, you can vote now, please. Okay.
Okay, we are on
Okay,
page
412,
43 and 44.
abstentions 0 and against 64, so that
The amendment's been lost.
has been lost. Thank you.
So now we're continuing with the debate on the motion itself.
Yeah. Right, we'll continue with the debate now on the motion itself.
Guys, you can thank Reform.
Councillor Price.
All of you
Thank
that
you.
voted Reform. We just lost this motion.
Well, thank you,
that's
Chair.
it.
Breezing through these today, guys. Yes, as it's been pointed out, we're here to speak, not to just listen. Okay. While the Green Group will not oppose a motion that attempts to bring financial relief to our 70,000 off-grid rural households, we must look at this text with absolute analytical honesty. It's a deeply missed opportunity. I must lament the short-sightedness of the votes cast just moments ago. As I argued during the amendment phase, simply expanding eligibility thresholds for a fossil fuel purchasing fund is a temporary plaster on a structural wound. By rejecting our text, this council has effectively chosen to spend public money to lock vulnerable families into a perpetual cycle of fossil fuel dependency. The Liberal Democrat motion rightly identifies that geopolitical instability will cause high energy prices to persist for at least another 8 months, yet the solution offered is to hand out cash to buy more carbon-heavy heating oil. When those fuel tanks invariably run empty next winter, the families in our oil divisions will be left exactly where they started, freezing, financially exposed, and entirely reliant on international commodity cartels. Furthermore, this unamended text fails to fully capture the true spirit of the central government's new Crisis and Resilience Fund. The DWP did not grant Norfolk £11.2 million just to subsidise oil distributors. They explicitly mandated that local authorities must deploy this capital to build structural financial independence. Our defeated amendment would have fulfilled that mandate perfectly, allowing residents to use those same grants for home installation, solar thermal arrays and small green retrofits. We will support this motion today because our rural residents cannot wait for relief, but let it be recorded that this chamber chose a short-term band-aid over a permanent cure. True resilience requires us to move away from fossil fuels, not fund them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Anyone else wish to
I've got a
speak?
funny feeling this motion is going to be lost. Because it's Reform.
The mover of the motion, have you wished to reply?
No, thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Put the substantive motion to
Okay, we'll go to the vote then, please.
Oh, I wished we had the vote on screen in the corner, and then you can see who votes yay, nay, abstain, you know. But for some reason it's not working today. Because then you can really pinpoint who is voting.
There must be somebody else to vote somewhere. Perhaps not.
Are the numbers right then? Lee, are the numbers right? Yeah. Chair, then your casting vote.
Okay. My casting vote would be against.
See? Reform.
So then if you can just go through them.
So we've got for 38, abstentions 0, and against 39, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the for?
Thank you.
Motion is lost.
Motion is lost.
Yeah.
Motion number 3.
You voted reform, and this is what you've got.
There we go. Motion number 3.
No heating subside.
Councillor Webb.
Jesus. Motion number 3. That's what he just said. Which is page 45 of the agenda pack. Fairness and inclusion at North Norfolk County Council. The Council is committed to providing equality of opportunity for Norfolk's people and community. This Council believes that everyone has a right to feel valued
so
and
I will
included.
take pleasure in moving this motion. So
Maxine Webb.
Our motion aims to refresh and reaffirm the commitment that we make as elected members of this council to uphold our responsibilities under the public sector equality duty to all of our constituents and across the council. The Norfolk County Council website states that this council believes that everyone has the right to feel valued and included and able to play their part in making Norfolk a welcoming and great place to live, learn, work and visit. We are all here to represent our communities, and it's an honour to do so, to speak up for people who are our neighbours, people who we live and work alongside. We may not all share the same backgrounds, life experiences or even views, but each of us should be expected to be treated equally and with respect and fairness.
Absolutely.
That includes in the words we use, our behaviour towards one another, and in the decisions we take here. This expectation should extend towards all residents across our increasingly diverse county and the employees of this council. As an organisation, this council benefits from the different skills of its workforce, from the people who welcome us at the barrier, the social workers and carers caring for vulnerable children and adults, our people from abroad teams, the pothole inspectors, translators and teachers, and the IT staff and administrators who look after the books or oversee the day-to-day running of the council, and everyone else I haven't mentioned but whose expertise this council draws on every day. The Equality and Human Rights Commission says that equality is about ensuring that every individual has an equal opportunity to make the most of their lives and talents. It's also the belief that no one should have poorer life chances because of the way they were born, where they came from, what they believe, or whether they have a disability. We will all now know about the Children's Services Flourish strategy with its single shared ambition, that Norfolk is a place where all children and young people can flourish and has priorities centred around feeling safe, supported, being respected as individuals, valuing theirs and others' uniqueness, and having the opportunity to achieve their potential. Employees, local residents and communities fairly and proportionately.
Sorry about that.
and encourage people who share a protected characteristic to participate in public life or in any other activity in which participation is disproportionately low. Given we're a chamber of many new members to this council, we are asking with this motion for your support to review and, if needed, update member training to equip us all with the language and tools needed to actively promote respect, diversity and inclusivity, as outlined in the Council's own strategy and its legal obligations. We're also asking that the Council actively seeks input from residents and local organisations with relevant expertise to ensure it continues to be inclusive towards diverse and hard-to-reach communities, and to explore what other opportunities there may be to increase accessibility, inclusivity, diversity and representation in its recruitment, member representation here and service provision. I hope we can all agree that these actions can only be of help and benefit to us, to the people and communities that we all represent, and the council workforce, both now and in the future, and I hope you will all be able to support this motion. Thank you.
10 minutes left.
Thank you, Councillor. Have you a seconder?
Meeting?
Thank you. Do you wish to speak now? Or
I wish to speak now.
Thank you.
Cllr Smith.
Diversity makes us stronger. Equality makes us stronger. It's undeniable that they both benefit our society, our county and our council. Our Christian prayers at the beginning of this meeting, specifically for the good of all our communities, for goodness and kindness, exemplify our commitment to our society and our neighbours and our residents to be treated as equals. As an aside, my own son-in-law is a previous Afghan refugee now doing amazing work in defence systems.
My
own godmother escaped Nazi Germany as a Jewish refugee and made her contribution to our society here. Here in Norfolk, our diverse society has, as just one example, provided me and my neighbours with a Kurdish dentist. Diversity and equality makes strong business sense. This council can be its very best by making sure our residents have the opportunity to work with us, regardless of background, disability or any other characteristics. And I would like to finish by wishing all Muslim employees and associates here at the council a very happy Eid.
Very happy?
Thank you.
What?
We will now move to the debate. I've got Councillor Colwell first.
Thank you, Chair. The Liberal Democrat Group will be supporting this motion. At its heart, this motion is about something very simple, treating people with dignity and respect. And that should not be controversial. Norfolk is changing, becoming more diverse, and we are stronger for it. Our role as a council is to ensure that every resident, whoever they are, wherever they come from, whatever their background, feels that they belong here and can participate fully in county life. This motion is also practical, not performative. It asks us to review training, improve accessibility, listen to communities, and ensure our policies reflect the people we serve.
Absolutely.
And those are reasonable expectations of a modern public authority. As Liberal Democrats, we believe strongly in equality before the law, individual freedom, and the right for everyone to live free from discrimination and prejudice. We also believe decisions are better when more voices are heard. If people feel excluded from local government, whether because of disability, ethnicity, age, gender, sexuality, caring responsibilities or socio-economic background, then this council is not benefiting from that full range of talent and experience across Norfolk. I particularly welcome the emphasis on respectful language and behaviour. Public discourse has become increasingly toxic in recent years, and we should be able to disagree politically without dismissing one another. Leadership matters, and councillors should all set an example. Importantly, this motion does not ask for special treatment for anyone. It asks for fairness, inclusion, and equal opportunities. Principles that I hope that all members in this chamber can support.
This motion is lost.
So let's send a clear message today. Norfolk is a county that values people, celebrates diversity, and stands firmly against discrimination and intolerance in all its forms. So I'm pleased to support the motion, and thank you to the Green Party for bringing this today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agree.
Any other councillor wishing to speak?
Not one.
Councillor Webb, you're right to wind up.
One from...
Well, thank you to Councillor Colwell. I appreciate that, and to the Liberal Democrat
Not one
Group
reform.
for supporting the motion.
one of
I'm sorry that no
40
one
has
else
spoken.
has anything to say from the other groups on it. I would have imagined they might at least have something they wanted to add. Bit of a shame that you don't. I mean, I would expect most people to want to agree with fairness and respect. So hopefully that means you're all going to vote in favour of it because, you know, there's nothing to disagree with. So yeah, I guess we put it to the vote and see if that is the case, because I'm sure if you had something to disagree with, you would have said it by now. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So are they going to be
Vote will be
wolves
coming
in sheep
soon.
clothing? They're not going to say anything, but they're going to vote against. And remember, you reform voters, if they lose this, that's who you voted for, guys. Got 5 minutes left of the meeting. Might actually finish early-ish.
Okay. For 30, abstentions 1, against 44. So that's lost. Thank you.
How can you lose that?
Motion 4, invite the proposer, who is Councillor Barry Gravenell.
So there's absolutely
Thank you,
no
Chair.
respect to
This motion
anybody,
is not
anything.
about being for or against cycling. It is not about ideology or party
hell.
politics or revisiting old arguments. It is about something far more fundamental. Value for money,
that gonna be
public
on the
safety
news? Is
and
that gonna be on the
accountability
local
for
news
how
site?
this
Is that gonna be
council
on local
spends
papers? Is that
taxpayer
gonna be on
money
local
at a time
radio
of severe
stations? Probably
financial
not.
pressure.
But
Residents
it
across
could be.
Galston and Great Yarmouth have been raising concerns about the Middleton Road and Jellicoe Road cycle lane schemes since the day construction began. These concerns have come from every direction: drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, businesses, delivery drivers and disabled residents. They are not fringe views. They are not manufactured. They are the lived experience of the people who we represent.
Great Yarmouth.
We have heard and witnessed congestion caused by the changes the schemes have introduced at peak times. We've heard about difficulties for emergency vehicles and delivery access. We've heard about junction safety, pavement safety and confusion over road parkings. And we've heard a consistent question from residents on how much did this cost, who paid for it, and why was our money not spent on actually repairing our roads or existing cycle lanes? That question is not unreasonable. It is responsible. This scheme was progressed under the previous administration at a time when Norfolk County Council was, and still is, facing some of the most serious financial pressures in its history. We have libraries under strain, children's services under pressure, adult social care stretched to breaking point, and highways maintenance budgets that cannot keep pace with the scale of repairs needed. Against that backdrop, residents expect us to demonstrate that every pound spent delivers clear, measurable public benefit. What this motion asks for is simple: transparency, evidence and accountability. We are asking for a full report setting out the total capital expenditure, the funding streams used, any conditions or clawback risks, and the long-term maintenance and enforcement costs. We are asking for usage data, safety data, congestion data, because decisions should be based upon evidence, not finger-in-the-wind assumptions. We are also asking for a post-implementation review that is standard good practice for any major infrastructure scheme. It is not controversial to ask whether a scheme is safe, whether it works, and whether it is delivering the benefits that were promised. And finally, we are asking for clarity on flexibility. If safety or operational concerns are identified, what options does this council actually have?
2 minutes.
Can we amend the scheme? Can we redesign it? Can we remove elements of it? And if we do, are we penalised financially?
Probably.
These are basic governance questions. They should not be difficult to answer. Let me be clear. This motion does not prejudge the outcome. It does not say the scheme must be removed. It does not say the scheme must stay. It simply says that members and the public deserve the facts. If the scheme represents good value for money, the evidence will show that. If it is delivering real benefits, the data will demonstrate it. And if improvements are needed, we should have the courage and flexibility to make them. Chairman, members, this council has a duty to ensure that infrastructure projects are practical, evidence-led, fiscally responsible and publicly supported. That is not a radical position. It is the bare minimum that residents expect of us. This motion strengthens scrutiny, It strengthens transparency and it strengthens public confidence in how we make decisions, and I commend it to the Council.
Thank you, Councillor. Have you a seconder?
I have indeed.
Thank you. Short time, would you like to say a few words?
Chair, could I move a procedural motion, please? Chair, could I move a procedural motion, please, that we extend the meeting by 20 minutes or the end of motion 5, whichever is soonest?
Okay. Does it have a seconder?
Have you a seconder? We'll
So
put that to the
because
vote then.
it's Britain
It's going to
first,
be hand vote.
it will probably
Show
be
of hands,
passed.
please, if you want to extend.
Let's listen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I bet it's going to be passed. Because it's Britain first. And it'll be carried through because of reform. God, this is so predictable.
You're at 33 to extend. And can we have those against, please? Hands up high. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That's the first time I've seen both their hands up at the same time, isn't it? I mean, if they're against it, it's because they want to go on because they still don't give a shit.
I made that 44.
What's the numbers?
43. Okay, the motion is lost.
Thank you. The motion is lost. Seconder, if you've got
1 minute.
1 minute. Starting now.
So that's Britain first and reform.
No, thank you. No, nothing to say.
No,
They don't want to
right.
extend
So
meetings.
we go
And
straight to the vote then, please.
they don't care. I think this one will go through because it's Britain first. And I think reform will support Britain like Britain first has supported reform. You can tell by the numbers.
Okay. I think we're all in. 64, abstentions 14, against none. The motion is carried.
So, predictable.
We've now moved into part of the meeting where all remaining business to be that recommendations, motions and amendments be motions, two motions will be considered, moved and seconded in line with procedure 4. There will be no speeches, no debate. The motion or amendment will be displayed on the screen in the meeting. I would like to propose the possibility of all the following votes.
So, if the government, the organisation and
I
evolution,
would like to make a
proposer
singular
is
decision
Councillor Daniel
on this to
Elmer.
extend to all votes taken in this section of the meeting. Could I please have a proposer for this?
Proposer for recorded votes. Thank you. Seconder.
Seconder.
Okay.
Thank you.
And can we see a show of hands for recorded votes, please?
Recorded votes.
And motion 6 is protecting Norfolk social safety net.
Sorry, we've not lined this one up in the system. For recorded votes only, this is just for, do we take these as recorded votes? We need a quarter of the chamber from memory.
I think 7, I think they did motion 7, which is county care homes.
I'm sorry, hands up, it's no formal meeting. We got a quarter?
And I think they might have done the number 8, protecting key services.
Sorry, you just hold on, keep your hands up, it's exercise class. We only need a quarter of a chamber, don't we? Have we got quarter? 31 out of 75? Then that's a quarter. Thank you. Sorry, Chair, these will all be now taken as recorded votes.
Okay, we will now record, there will be recorded votes from now on. Thank you.
Okay, so if we go to the next item. So if we could put the motion up on the screen.
Could I have a motion on screen, please?
Right, I'm going to have to leave it there, guys. It's been 3 hours, 15 minutes.
Motion 5.
If you want to watch the rest, you're going to have to go over onto their YouTube channel. But this is where I'm now going to cut off.
Been proposed and amended
And
seconded. So if we just let them scroll through.
how dire it's going to be that motion 3 was rejected.
Councillor Elmer, do you wish to have it considered now or withdraw the motion?
I'd like it voted on now, please.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll put motion 5 to the vote, please.
With the equality, fairness and inclusion at
Motion 5 will be coming up for the vote.
It was rejected. Can't get any worse than that. Something so simple. And it was rejected. Right, on that note, thanks for watching. And we're going to keep tabs on this, I think, over the next coming months. So I will make sure I will be about for their next meeting. I'll put some dates up of what is coming up of their meetings. And yeah, listen in. Find out what bullshit they're coming up with next.
Okay.
But until then, I'll catch you later, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Okay,